Nice.
Is it just you and me?
Nice.
Of the world.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Is it just you and me?
Nice.
Of the world.
Oh, nice.
That must
Hello. Welcome.
To the KaiCast. Cast.
Yes. Today's episode. First episode, actually.
Special sauce included.
This is all getting cut out.
My goodness.
Consider that you guys were talking
So-
at the same time.
The topic today is exploring Origin Hollows.
What's Origin Hollow?
Shut up. We're going to get there. All right. So, but before, we're going to introduce everybody around the room. So, Adam, you go first.
Oh, me? Okay. Are we doing
In-
like
in
left of me or right of me? Then?
You can choose.
Or are we doing popcorn? Like whoever just says whatever.
Well, and is it just us as
You can
people,
go last.
or
Okay,
you
never
want
mind.
characters too?
Well,
If you want to be in character, you can. But
Well, you
but-
should explain Origin Hollow first if that's how
Yeah.
you want to do this.
yeah, I just want
Adam should explain Origin Hollow,
to. That's why he's here.
So,
Ladies and gentlemen, our wonderful DM.
hi, my name is Adam. I'm the DM for said Dungeons and Dragons campaign. The reason why I won't be doing this in character is because there's too many characters that I play. Because I play all of them except for the players. So Origin Hollow was an idea I came up with when my brother had initially started playing D&D, and we played with him, and it was a lot of fun. But I felt like that there was just like more of a story and just different elements that I could play with, like that classic fantasy element. So it's I don't want to call it like a darkened story, but it does have its edge moments, your classic Devil May Cry feel here and there. But it takes place in the land of Terra, just a lone continent with a variety of different countries and governments, and the story takes place in the most southernmost part of it. It's a cursed forest where mostly prisoners or people who are going to be sent to death are thrown into, and they're never seen from again. Come to find out, this is where all the party goes when they first meet. Either they're captured as a bounty hunter, they're thrown in there because they may have landed on some people and killed them by proxy. They may have murdered over 3,000 people in their village by turning into a werewolf.
Why would you say that?
Yeah, sorry, that was the possession ghost taking.
Thank you.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. It's not proven.
He has yet to make it to the court.
That's true.
If I miss the court date, I get out of it, right?
That's not how that works.
For the record, I am terrible by saying allegedly.
Allegedly.
The glove don't fit.
It doesn't.
Don't worry.
So the entirety of the campaign is just these party members joining together and trying to find their way out of this cursed forest when they realize that there's cities in this forest, there's towns, there's people, there's so much life and breath in a really darkened state where not even the sun shines. That's kind of like the summary basic of the campaign. If I were to give like one tantamount character, I do play a guide character. His name is Enuma Elish, a very large Wendigo-like being, skull-like face and large robes. He does all sorts of... He's a sorcerer. He does a lot of fire magic. Other than that, I'll pass it on to the name.
Otherwise, AKA known as Bone Daddy. We love him.
Bone Daddy. Hello, everyone. My name is Adam Straessle. I am Adam's brother, former dungeon master of our previous campaign and current player in Origin Hollow. And I play Ouroboros.
Oh my god.
Variant human, ancestral guardian, barbarian. He hails from the land of Gip, which is a large kind of forest, plains, desert continent. Basically, he has the likeness of Inosuke from Demon Slayer, and he's an interesting character. He's very emotionally driven. He's a swordsman. He can use elemental magic as kind of an additional thing. He's just I do my best to be a good boy, but he makes a lot of mistakes and lets his anger and emotions get the best of him, which I think makes him a very interesting character.
You've been a bad boy.
Oh no, Daddy.
Shut your mouth.
Are you gonna
Yeah.
Are you gonna bring up maybe the nice augmentation that ended up being put on Oro?
Do we really have to talk about the fact
we have
that?
time.
Yeah,
We got time.
We can get to that with Heinrich.
Let's get to that later. Because
Yeah.
there may be somebody else who shares that same skill.
That is true.
All right.
We'll talk about that.
All right,
Later.
go ahead.
Okay. Hi, I'm Austin, and I play a character named Thinesius in Origin Hollow. He has no last name because he is son to a dragon. I'm not gonna say her name. It's a little long. It's draconic in nature. His whole deal is that he's supposed to be like kind of morally gray. He was supposed to come in and kind of be a bit of a wild card for the group, but he kind of grew to appreciate members of said group a little more than he anticipated. For example, Walker, and he does like Oro, but he likes to pick on Oro quite often.
Everybody does.
Everyone likes to pick on Oro. He's a draconic bloodline sorcerer, which I forgot to mention. He's quite adept at magic involving fire, and he...
As well as pelvic magic.
I was getting there, actually, yeah. He also has a great penchant for women, specifically women who are tall and much stronger than him physically.
And a certain someone's brother.
And we can get to that later.
There may be other prospects.
But I think
Allegedly.
Allegedly. I think that's about the basics of Thinesius, though.
Allegedly.
Well, since the host isn't going to say it, thank you, Thinesius, for bringing that up.
You're welcome.
Fantastic story.
Perfect. Yeah. Great character.
So
Hi.
much more to come.
Sorry.
So much more to come.
Oh God.
Everywhere.
Hard, too.
Okay.
Okay, hello. My name is Autumn. I am one of the few females of the group that play in Origin Hollow. I play a male character. I play Walker Ilmastres. He is a half-elf, druid of the moon, Echo Knight fighter. Don't ask me. We got there somehow. It just
Forgot that you were an Echo Knight.
happened. Yeah. He's a work in progress. He comes
In
from
so many ways.
so many ways. He comes from the military country of Leontaine, which is very elf-heavy, very racist. Little boy kind of grew up in a bad
Allegedly.
home and joined the military. My God.
I hate this.
She
This is gonna be a
said,
running trend.
she said, I'm a female. I was like, oh, allegedly.
You should
Listen,
get. You should
the hair
get.
does confuse people. Oh, I get it. Thank you.
We should get you a shirt that says allegedly.
Oh my gosh.
Continue.
Thank you. And he grew up in a militaristic country of Leontaine, which is very elf-heavy, as I said. A lot of racism. Kind of grew up with that stigma. Ended up joining the military. Doesn't have a great relationship with most of his family, except for his dad. But he's definitely a work-in-progress kind of character. Lots of baggage. I built him originally off the concept of duality, so like good and bad choices and all that kind of stuff. But all in all, a really good character. I really enjoy playing him. He's been just awesome to play, and I've enjoyed the campaign. It's given me a chance to really explore this fun character, so yeah.
Thanks, Autumn. I play less guy. Also, Sean played less guy one session. Do you want to?
I forgot about
all
that.
Yeah. So I thought he was going to say, Sean, play my music.
So my name is Sean. I'm not usually in the D&D groups with them, but on one occasion I did play a one-off version of Les Kai. I would argue it's the better version of Les Kai.
I apologize. But
What were some things that you did while piloting Les Kai?
I believe we were. I don't remember exactly where we were, but I do remember that there was something that happened where it was like this figure that was trying to like give us something, and I just killed her instantly.
So
We were in a tomb.
So it was an old tomb, and it was
Yeah.
a woman who was possessed, and she was pressed up against a statue, just screeching horrid things. And of course, Sean, being less Kai, was like, we just have to put her out of her misery, right? And without getting any sort of verification from the group, went right, and then just cut her throat, and then
She was like the last. She was the last sacrifice, right?
Yep. And I even made the thing of like the fact that Dylan didn't want that to really happen. I even gave him the idea that hey, that's something that
Allegedly.
Oro would probably do. So why not just take? Why don't I take the heat for it?
I got blacklisted, okay?
You were late.
No. Like, no, you shut up. Like, I was working, okay? Anyways.
It's okay.
I remember hearing about it. I'm just like, well, it was an argument. I think it was by Kakua. And I was like, that wasn't me, bro.
We don't speak of.
We don't talk about Kaikua. Not at all. Bad touch. Bad touch.
Actually, I think you blamed it. You didn't blame it on Kaikua / Orion. That was a previous player of ours. You actually wanted to blame it on your symbiote.
I did. I was getting there.
Oh, sorry.
I was getting.
Thanks, Aaron. I might as well just give this show to you then.
I'm excited. I'm sorry.
And just like his character, Oro always tends to find a way to talk about it. So you don't want to trust him with any information.
Yeah. So, Leskai is a king. I based him off of Thor. I really love
I
Thor.
thought it was Simba from The Lion King.
No, it was not Simba from the Lion King.
Okay, but explain to me why. Y'all are going to think of Simba when he's done, I promise.
Simba.
I could see that he wields a
It was funny. I was watching Thor.
wait, just because he wields a hammer?
You were watching Thor
I
in
was-
your free time.
Dude,
Yeah, I'm on
Mario
free
is
time.
the closest thing to
Yeah.
Thor I'll ever
It was.
have.
Yeah, I love Thor.
That's like one of the worst MCU movies.
Well,
it's so off topic.
True, but I'm saying like it was. You
It's
said
so boring.
you said DC or MCU.
I might have said. Did I say MCU?
You
I might
but-
have said DC.
I
I've been thinking
swear,
about
I thought you said
Batman a lot
DC. It was
recently.
probably just the concussion I have. I don't know.
Yeah,
Understandable.
Dylan's not a little full of shit. It's 1,000% full of shit. But it's technicalities of a fender bender accident.
Yeah, I did have one, so I might have concussion.
Yeah, he's
if I did.
been using the brain injury excuse all day. It's been quite wonderful.
Yeah, Ben loves it. I'm sorry. So I based Leskai off Thor, and then it's went down here from there. He was a king, and then he just like completely like wasn't.
You want to explain that a little bit?
I don't know how to explain.
It's like in Monty Python and the Holy Grail when King Arthur goes to the peasant area and the guy that's like stacking mud's like, "You're no king here."
I didn't vote for
I
him.
still haven't seen
Yeah, I
Monty
didn't vote for
Python.
him.
I still haven't seen Monty Python. I know. I know,
Go
it's
watch
sad.
it and then
You
stop
have
like
not-
15
I
minutes
know.
before it's over.
Dylan, would you allow me to explain what happened to Leskai
Actually,
if you don't know how?
I think
No, I'm
better
going to.
stated is
Okay.
that Leskai started out really awesome, and then
Yeah.
it's like that same thing where you watch a movie and it's really great, and then you just make a shit ton of memes off of it. Yeah, that's what happened to Leskai.
That's me.
Pretty much. We actually, before we started this podcast, Adam and I were actually talking about how we would compare him to Deadpool by the way that he acts and how things happen to him.
Yeah, Autumn used to like Leskai. Now he not so much anymore.
He's like a D12 away from just yeeting to a
Dying.
new character, I'm telling you.
I think we should let everyone else introduce themselves real quick. Just
Oh,
so we can
is
get
that
around
the
the
segment
table.
we're still on?
Yeah. But yeah, so sorry, I keep like Leskai, Thor. Yep. He had a Master Yang. He died. Allegedly. But Leskai wasn't chosen to be king. He had to work for it, and he had a half brother, kind of like Loki type thing, and took over the kingdom, and then kind of banished Leskai, and he fell on a fat priest. That's my favorite part about that.
Do you remember that? Do you remember that fat priest's name?
Oh, what was his
I have it in
name?
my name. I have it in my notes.
You
Hold on.
killed a guy and you
Hold
don't
on.
remember his name.
What a ruthless monster.
People that they've killed.
Certainly not Walker.
Oh no.
Yeah, I have it. Here it is. Are you ready?
Wait.
The fat priest that you landed on and killed was named Saint Reverend Burgermeister Shathid.
I forgot.
Send that to me. I will put him on the dice.
All right.
If he does not come back as a necromancer, like raised sorcerer or something, I would be highly disappointed.
Could Alex? So you're up. Could you also introduce Echo?
Yeah, of course, yes.
Wait, I think
What?
Ben should introduce himself first.
Oh, hey,
we were
Ben.
going around.
Gosh.
I'm the allegedly guy.
Allegedly. Having a conversation with my girlfriend on my phone, and she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, we're just doing a podcast. And she's like, about? And I told her what we were doing it for, and she's like, yeah, I'd have no fucking clue about any of that. And I'm like, yeah, I have no clue either. I'm just saying allegedly and making sexual jokes about everything.
And suddenly we've gained the explicit tag.
Yeah, it's my fault. Allegedly.
Demonetized.
Well, fuck.
Wait, we were monetized?
This was for kids. Never
All right,
mind.
Let's hear about our two other characters, though, please.
All right. Well, my name is Alex Harper. I have been acquainted with the group for a very long time. In fact, there's pictures of me and Adam in diapers together.
Yeah, I was going to say.
We've been around for quite a while, and I was the second to newest person to join the D&D, and this is actually my first campaign that I did. I am playing as a noble necromancer stitcher, which is a homebrew that me and Adam have been working on. His name is Heinrich Kellner, and he is quite a sadistic, horrifying person. He tends to scavenge a lot of dead bodies.
He is the Godfather.
The Godfather. And he's starting to take on a little bit of a fatherly role towards Leskai, actually. And you gotta. He said it before. Yeah, he sees me as a dad for some reason.
It's like those creepy uncle
He's
stories.
dying. His brain injury is killing him. Are we taking that for like?
And you
for,
know
like,
what?
fact?
Even if he's dying from it, at least I can say I'm his daddy.
It's okay. Daddy's here.
Don't worry. I'll lock you in my basement like the other one.
He does have a basement.
Heinrich Kellner is he is over 1,000 years old because he keeps augmenting himself to stay alive, and he is trying to find a way to revive his daughter, who has been killed by the main villain of Origin Hollows, which is Welker. Moving on, there is also Echo, who is played by Miss Emily. She is not here today. She is the newest player, and this is also her first D&D campaign. She plays as a ranger changeling, and a lot isn't known about her because she is quite fresh into the campaign. I think, 2 or 3 sessions?
Well, there's a lot of lore surrounding her, but those are conversations between her and I that nobody knows.
Exactly,
But
yeah.
to a fresh perspective, nobody pretty much knows anything. So Allegedly.
Yeah.
I did find
Allegedly.
out her real name recently, though.
Don't tempt me with a good time.
Yes, yeah. Oh, yeah, we did. Yeah.
When did that happen?
Because during the interview with the professor, or the dean, he asked names, and she actually gave the actual name. Instead of Echo, she said her.
You're right. I don't know why I wasn't thinking about that.
The players learned it in a dream sequence, but the actual characters learned it during the conversation with the dean of an academy.
Yup.
The DM didn't know that.
And I did want to bring up something actually kind of important about Heinrich, where, as I said, he is a necromancer, and he has a tendency to raise dead characters, which involve, there is John Smith, which the party ended up defeating in a battle, and now he is quite the practical gag that tends to pop up all the time, and is a joke of him having a relationship with Oro and all of this. It's always a running joke. There is allegedly.
I see them. I see them as combat partners and training buddies more than anything. But you guys go ahead and make your jokes.
You say that, but he did oil you up that one time you didn't show up to the session. So.
Yeah, which led to the oiled up pig joke. That
And
we had.
even better, Heinrich is our considered doctor, and some of the things he has done have been absolutely toe curling.
And do you know what? I'll have somebody else describe that fun experiment.
I'll explain it. Oh yeah.
I mean,
Let's
you guys,
let Phil
what do-
you guys can do it at the same time. Oh, okay.
Like the fact that he kidnapped me and like grew an extra that one.
Wait, he gave
This
you an
isn't going
entire
well.
extra dick?
No. He
Turned you into Elvis?
You can't just be like, it's not going well, but like 30 seconds ago be like toe curling.
Listen.
Whatever your
No,
kinks
no,
are,
no,
we don't
it gets
care.
better.
But like,
We'll
Toe
preface.
curling is what's gonna happen to the people that we sleep with now.
Oh, anyway.
whatever you're
We
into.
rolled dick size like the fifth session, and some people were unhappy. Les Kai and Oro. Anyway.
Yeah.
So,
We are the
you
Minnie
just go
Mouse.
to the doctor and you want some modifications, and I'll let them talk about
Well,
that.
when you're 4 inches at full mast, you kind of want more than that.
Hey man,
Hey,
we've
it's okay. Not all of us are blessed with 4 inches.
You just go.
I'm
You
just
just
gonna
go for
bring up the
gnomes and
fact.
halflings at that point.
I'm just going to bring up the fact
but
the only one that voluntarily came down and asked for a dick extension was Oro. I did
This
it
is
as
true.
a pure joke to Leskai, where I decided to put a toe on his wang to extend it. Then out of nowhere, Oro decides to come down here.
This is far from family friendly at this point.
Oro
since-
decides to come down and decide, hey, you know what? I need an extension too, so I rolled a d4. And it gave him 1 extra inch, so now it's just a running joke of a pinky toe being glued on top of it.
that's why Ori got friend zoned.
Okay, I'm just gonna explain
I
right
don't
now.
think I don't think the dick got taken out. I don't think she was interested to begin with.
I'm just gonna say one of Oro's big things is that he's really bad with women. He does not have the best intelligence or charisma score.
The toe extensions are doing quite wonderful toenail wise, according to her.
For God's sake. I mean, considering that Les Kai has
really
slept
knows how to scratch that itch.
considering that Les Kai has slept
just perfectly.
Les Kai has slept with Forrest. Heinrich's
Yeah.
been with Vinny. Dionysius has been with numerous women.
We keep a list.
And Walker, Oro, and as far as we know, Echo are like the only virgins in the group.
Well,
Why are you talking about our virginity, man?
Well,
What the
Walker-
hell?
We started talking. We started talking
well-
about it. Somebody brought it up.
Yeah.
Dionysius kind of
Slut
is. Don't
shaming.
lie.
well, Walker was basically the one that got away.
Oh right, with Fanny.
Oh,
yeah,
she'll
we'll
come
talk
back.
about her.
Don't worry
yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
All right. Awesome. Yep. Allegedly. All right.
Can I just do a fun small segment real quick?
Sure.
So out of everyone who's been in the group, Sean, who you met earlier, had played D&D 2 times, one as Les Kai and then one in a small one-shot, and then Ben has never played Dungeons & Dragons. So I just wanted to do a little back and forth. Do you guys have any questions about Dungeons & Dragons, just in general? Like, if you just have a genuine question. Look, I've been doing this for almost 3 years.
I've got none, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just curious.
I don't even know.
Because there's like a lot going on between the other
yeah.
people who are like in the campaign and knowing stuff, but like outside of that, you know.
Are there a lot of races in D&D, like, or in Origin Hollow?
Oh my god!
In Origin Hollow, especially, in D&D in general,
there are so many. There are over
not even that. No, with the amount of like new books that have come out with actual pre-gen like races, there's definitely over 100 and something you can choose and
Holy
be from.
shit.
Tons and tons.
to extend it.
Is a wang.
Then out of nowhere, Oro decides to come down here.
This is far from family friendly at this point.
Oro
since-
decides to come down and decide, hey, you know what? I need an extension too, so I rolled a d4. And it gave him 1 extra inch, so now it's just a running joke of a pinky toe being glued on top of it.
That's why Ori got friend zoned.
Okay, I'm just gonna explain right now.
I don't think the dick got taken out. I don't think she was interested to begin with.
I'm just gonna say one of Oro's big things is that he's really bad with women. He does not have the best intelligence or charisma score.
The toe extensions are doing quite wonderful toenail wise, according to her.
For God's sake. I mean, considering that Les Kai has
really
slept
knows how to scratch that itch.
considering that Les Kai has slept
just perfectly.
Les Kai has slept with Forrest. Heinrich's been with Vinny. Dionysius has been with numerous women.
We keep a list.
And Walker, Oro, and as far as we know, Echo are like the only virgins in the group.
Well,
Why are you talking about our virginity, man?
Well,
What the
Walker-
hell?
We started talking about it. Somebody brought it up.
Yeah.
Dionysius kind of
Slut
is. Don't
shaming.
lie.
well, Walker was basically the one that got away.
Oh, right. With Fanny.
Oh,
Yeah,
she'll
we'll
come
talk
back.
about her.
Don't worry
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right. Awesome. Yep. Allegedly. All right.
Can I just do a fun small segment real quick?
Sure.
So out of everyone who's been in the group, Sean, who you met earlier, had played D&D 2 times, one as Les Kai and then one in a small one-shot, and then Ben has never played Dungeons & Dragons. So I just wanted to do a little back and forth. Do you guys have any questions about Dungeons & Dragons, just in general? Like, if you just have a genuine question. Look, I've been doing this for almost 3 years.
I've got none, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just curious.
I don't even know.
Because there's like a lot going on between the other
yeah.
people who are like in the campaign and knowing stuff, but like outside of that, you know.
Are there a lot of races in D&D, like, or in Origin Hollow?
Oh my
In
god.
Origin Hollow, especially, I mean, in D&D in general, there
are so many. There are over
allegedly well, not even that. No, with the amount of like new books that have come out with actual pre-gen like races, there's definitely over 100 and something you can choose and be
Holy
from.
shit.
Tons and tons. If you want to be a squid dude, if you want to be a gator girl, if you want to be literally Iron Man,
Yeah.
they're all choices.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
You can also just be
A human.
That is the thing. There are so many races in the canon D&D universe that Wizards of the Coast has created, but then when you get homebrew involved, literally the possibilities are infinite.
Okay, let me ask you another question. Is Origin Hollow even close to the D&D movie that came out a year or two ago, maybe?
A long question there. Okay, so repeat it to me. Sorry.
So, like, the Dungeons and Dragons movie Among Thieves,
Yeah.
is that even close to Origin Hollow at all, in, like, any sense?
Close to like what?
Like,
are we talking themes? Are we talking characters?
themes.
Story?
We're talking, like, rescue mission type, or, like, medieval, whatever you want to call it.
Like medieval fantasy. I would say it's pretty much parallel. Anything or any, like, excessive D&D content that's been released has been fairly fantasy. There's some that go into like space travel, some that go into like pirate eras, some that do this, but the majority of them are just, you know, really focused in on that fantasy and whimsy, magical wizards and, you know, fire-breathing dragons, things like that.
He's exclusively asking about his kinks, and
Oh, of
he's
course.
just
I
exploring
was just making
that
sure my
route
foot
and
fetish
making-
would be all right there.
No, so
100%.
D&D is also a game where you explore and realize your fetishes. It makes them come to life. So
And I'm going to tell you, when it comes down to Heinrich,
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
It's actually funny that we're talking about this because at one point Austin did put together a presentation playing Dionysius, talking about every character's kinks.
about their personal sexual fetishes and such.
My
I have
favorite.
it saved in a Google Drive.
I have it
My-
saved on my laptop.
My favorite was when we were talking about Kaikua.
He had to get
and
extra
you-
storage for that file.
My
It was
favorite.
very large.
Yeah.
My favorite is when you talked about Kaikua and brought up that his kink was getting pegged.
It's only because we dislike him. That's
Yeah.
why.
the joke was,
look,
I hate him,
Yeah, look,
so
yeah,
peg
I
him.
was like, what one might piss him off?
I think my absolute favorite part was just the pure silence when it got down to Heinrich, because he didn't say a single word and just kept pressing a button as arrows kept popping up on the screen pointing at necrophilia.
Necrophilia. Yep. You got one
Allegedly.
word. Everyone else got a description, an explanation. Not for Heinrich.
It was gorgeous because like it was a good 10 seconds of just arrow. It really reminded me of that like SpongeBob hello or alone. That's it. Alone. It absolutely hilarious. The entire thing was great.
Other than that, it's kind of just fun watching you guys like all talk about something I have no clue about at all.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, it's just kind of fun.
You'd think that you would have learned something playing the tiefling bard that I made for that one shot for you. He was British.
Yeah, I learned a little bit. It was fun, but yeah.
I think it's just interesting the concept of Dungeons and Dragons because like not only is it something that has like a set theme, like a majority of the content in it is for fantasy and for medieval times, but you can pretty much take either the combat system or the abilities to do things and apply it to anything. Like if you want to run something in the world of Star Wars, you can do that. There's nothing stopping you. If you want to run something as fish and running around in an aquarium trying to escape, you can do that. If you want to play as donuts, freaking rising up and taking down the human race, you can do that.
Hey, don't spoil my
Which
next
will
campaign.
which will be Adam's future campaign after Origin Hollow.
Definitely not.
But I was actually going to mention, just because you brought up, just because you brought up Star Wars, I actually have a campaign planned for the far future that involves Star Wars. I know it's not. I'm just mentioning something.
To give you an idea of what
Adam.
to
So
give
if
you an
all
idea
didn't
of what
know,
just
Oral
happened
has
in this
to be
room.
the center of attention, and it shows.
It's kind of toasty here. But like to give you an
Guilty as charged.
We love you, Aaron. Allegedly. Adam.
All right. Sorry for the break point. I wanted to get a little banter with the
You're
people
good.
that don't normally do D&D.
You definitely explained the last. You definitely explained the next question I was going to ask. Well, what is D&D? But you guys went through it.
Oh, but I guess yeah.
Did you want to like go into that more, or
I can expand upon it a little
yeah,
bit.
you can expand on.
Oh, what?
D&D is a very nerdy board game where they just use D20s, and if they get a 20, it's like woohoo! It's the best thing ever. And if they don't, then it just leads to more death and destruction.
Don't fall into his perception of this wonderful game. He's got a huge fetish going over here, and he's 90% hard.
He's got a hate kink.
Dude,
I'm telling you right now, the more people that dislike this video, the harder he's getting. You got to be careful.
I mean, yeah,
It's a small room.
To the most like bare bones expression, the basics of D&D is you have a D20. It is a die that has a side from 1 all the way up to 20, and your success rate, the higher the number, the more you're going to success. The lower the number, the more you're probably going to mess it up. So the idea is your player comes to you, they say, I want to jump over that wagon that's coming through and look awesome. And you say, roll the dice. And they roll a 2, and then they slip and fall before they reach it, and their hands fall forward, and the wagon runs over their fingers. Like, it's just awful. Or it's like, I want to flirt with a lady, and they get a natural 20, and so the lady is completely wooed by them almost
times.
effortlessly. So, yeah, I mean, and that's only with like just the role playing aspect. If you want to get into the combat basics, you can always swing your sword and fight somebody. But if you're a really big, strong barbarian, maybe you're like, actually, I'm going to remove that tree from its roots and swing it at you, and you can do that.
Yet to be tried, but is definitely an idea.
Allegedly.
that's the word today.
I guess that's the word of the day.
Allegedly.
Can somebody pull up the description for allegedly, please?
Yep.
Doing it right now.
Aaron, you're slacking, bro. What is the definition of allegedly?
Not Siri.
Excuse me if I want to type it rather than say it.
Allegedly used to convey that something is claimed to be the case or taken place, although there is no proof.
Do you have proof about all the things you've been
No,
saying?
that's why it's alleged. What do you mean?
Thank you, Pee Wee Herman.
Adam.
Yes.
So
Dylan.
you briefly talked about like the background of Origin Hollow.
A little bit of the world.
So like it says on my outline
Uh-huh.
that I used,
Of course.
that I wrote.
Very smart of you to write an outline for this. I commend you 100%.
It says I'm actually gonna be smart and be like, so overall, so
Allegedly.
so
Half an inch. Allegedly, that's where the
The other half is missing.
No, the half inch marks where the invisible line is.
We're never gonna get through this.
Allegedly,
It's fine.
because it's so big.
um
Only half inch. That's all I can.
That's
so
how
you
much
talked a
reality
little
can
bit about the
comprehend.
background and
100%.
the history and then the culture.
Mhm.
I guess you didn't really talk about the culture as much.
Not really. So, yeah, I guess to explain the culture, so the idea behind the majority of Terra, which is like the continent that they're on, is the basics of that there's several different smaller countries on this that kind of have their own central governments, and they have, their own trade routes and do things. Like I said, the southernmost part is called the Hollow. Part just above that is a large, wild grasslands known as Gip. They have a swamp, they have a desert, they have a plains land, and then they have a shadowed corner called the Shadowlands, which is known to be the don't go there, that's where the sun doesn't touch Simba, blah.
Yeah, literally the idea for the Shadowlands came from the elephant graveyard in The Lion King. I'm not gonna lie.
It's good.
Like, what are the people like? I know there's different types of species and races.
I guess
and
for Gip, it's just a bunch of like country hicks. I mean, let's be real. It's a bunch of people in loincloths. It's a bunch of people in cloth manner. Although they can still talk and diversify with you, they're more primitive than your normal race of people or normal culture to be devised. Yeah, just above that's a smaller continent. It's half of a mountain, half of a harbor town known only as the Attic. It's mostly remnants at this point.
And it's the top layer of hell.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, baby. Allegedly.
Yeah.
Do we want to mention which characters are from which?
I'll let them guess. No, I'm kidding. So as we've mentioned them, but I'll just mention them as we go. So the characters that are originally from Gip are both Echo and Oro. So then we get onto the Attic. Like I said, really indescribable town, kind of a port town. There's a lot of people there who are just kind of, you're either there because you have some stock holdings in the large corporations there, or you're there as a religious figure due to the large influx of churches, or you're there to build a boat, and other than that, you're there because you're poor. So, Thainesius is where this is from, which, kind of interesting, where he has a draconic backstory, but the place he comes from is doesn't take so kindly to many races, and mostly tieflings at that.
But he lived in a mountain, so it's kind of different. He lived in the mountain like...
He was poor.
Just because I ate at rocks didn't make me poor.
Fire. Rock.
Allegedly.
After that, there's a small island in between that separates the continents, just known as the Island of the Wyverns. Not going to get into that too much. It's sort of a backtrack for now. We'll get into it later. But just above that, there are then two more continents. On the right is the large military complex known as Leontaine. That's where Walker and... No, not you. Sorry. That's where Walker is from. It's a huge military. They have a lot of royalty. They have a lot of
Money.
Old indigenous people there. They have people like high elves. They have normal elves, half elves, frost elves. They also have a large population of a werewolf, more to the eastern side of it. But they have a huge werewolf pride pack.
It's a
whatever you wanna call
Infestation?
them.
That's the
Infestation,
correct
probably.
term.
Yeah. Oh. No, yeah. Sorry, I guess there is a prior other character who's not really a part of the campaign anymore, who's also from Leontaine. But I mean, again, he's not a player anymore, so it's okay if he stays unknown.
it's secret. You guys will get to know.
Yeah, you'll get to know him. Maybe.
While listen to the bonus episode, there won't be one.
There's not going to be one. You're lying.
Talk about all the characters that
This won't even be released.
Yeah, it won't. To the left of that is a small city, a very large city, very known for its academics, for its wizard prowess, for its people that want to know more about entrepreneurship and business, known as Carcassonne. Huge academy city. This is where Mr. Kellner and the priorly mentioned Kaikua had come from. He's no longer here, so obviously I just wanted to mention because he was mentioned. But yeah, this is a city that a lot of people, they talk about the mysterious waves that always wash up near the end of the shore. People having weird, mysterious dreams about tendrils taking them at the end of their bedside, or getting mysterious visions at the end of a night once coming back from a sailboat. It's a really interesting town. And then the final city is known as the capital. The most royal, most upper cloth people can only be there. And this is, it's the city of it's basically the center, I guess, well, it's not the center, but the center figuratively of the entirety of that continent.
Rest in peace to Fat Priest.
Rest in peace to Shafid, yeah.
We will all miss him.
Well, I miss him, so.
Can we have a compilation of Fat Priest to play immediately right now? Okay, thank you.
Thanks, editor.
Maybe it is.
Thank you, editor.
Allegedly.
That's me.
But that's kind of everything on Terra. But you'll notice I didn't really say Les Kai was from anywhere.
Yeah.
So where's Les Kai from?
You can guess in the comments down below.
Do they do that in
or you
podcasts?
And then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
A planet called Doram.
If you
It's
end
not
up
of
guessing that correct, good job.
Doram.
If not, put
Yeah.
down in the comments that
If
you
you
didn't
ended
guess
up
right.
guessing mysterious alien prince, you were right.
All right.
If not, you'll get flogged. Do that.
Hey, don't spoil my
Which
next
will-
campaign.
Which will be Adam's future campaign after Origin Hollow.
Definitely not.
But I was actually going to mention, just because you brought up, just because you
needed
brought
a
up
mic.
Star Wars, I actually have a campaign planned for the far future that involves Star Wars. I know it's not. I'm just mentioning something.
To give you an idea of what
Adam.
to
So
give
if
you
you
an
all
idea
didn't
of what
know,
just
Oral
happened
has
in this
to be the
room.
center of attention, and it shows.
It's kind of toasty here. But like to give you an
Guilty as charged.
We love you, Aaron. Allegedly. Adam.
All right. Sorry for the break point. I wanted to do
yeah.
a little banter with
You're
the people
good.
that don't normally do D&D.
You definitely explained the last. You definitely explained the next question I was going to ask. Well, what is D&D? But you guys went through it.
Oh, but I guess yeah.
Did you want to like go into that more, or
I can expand upon it a little
yeah,
bit.
you can expand on.
Oh, what?
D&D is a very nerdy board game where they just use D20s, and if they get a 20, it's like woohoo! It's the best thing ever. And if they don't, then it just leads to more death and destruction.
Don't fall into his perception of this wonderful game. He's got a huge fetish going over here, and he's 90% hard.
He's got a hate kink.
Dude,
I'm telling you right now, the more people that dislike this video, the harder he's getting. You got to be careful.
I mean, yeah,
It's a small room.
To the most like bare bones expression, the basics of D&D is you have a D20. It is a die that has a side from 1 all the way up to 20, and your success rate, the higher the number, the more you're going to success. The lower the number, the more you're probably going to mess it up. So the idea is your player comes to you, they say, I want to jump over that wagon that's coming through and look awesome. And you say, roll the dice. And they roll a 2, and then they slip and fall before they reach it, and their hands fall forward and the wagon runs over their fingers. Like, it's just awful. Or it's like, I want to flirt with a lady, and they get a natural 20, and
That
so
was
the
me.
lady is completely wooed by them
3
almost
times.
effortlessly. So, yeah, I mean, and that's only with like just the role playing aspect. If you want to get into the combat basics, you can always swing your sword and fight somebody. But if you're a really big, strong barbarian, maybe you're like, actually, I'm going to remove that tree from its roots and swing it at you, and you can do that.
Yet to be tried, but is definitely an idea.
Allegedly,
that's the word today.
I guess that's the word of the day.
Allegedly.
Can somebody pull up the description for allegedly, please?
Yep.
Doing it right now.
Aaron, you're slacking, bro. What is the definition of allegedly?
Not Siri.
Excuse me if I want to type it rather than say it.
Allegedly used to convey that something is claimed to be the case or taken place, although there is no proof.
Do you have proof about all the things you've been
No,
saying?
that's why it's alleged. What do you mean?
Thank you, Pee Wee Herman.
Adam.
Yes.
So
Dylan.
you briefly talked about like the background of Origin Hollow.
A little bit of the world.
So like it says on my outline
Uh-huh.
that I used,
Of course.
that I wrote.
Very smart of you to write an outline for this. I commend you 100%.
It says I'm actually gonna be smart and be like, so overall, so
Allegedly.
so
Half an inch. Allegedly, that's where the
The other half is missing.
No, the half inch marks where the invisible line is.
We're never gonna get through this.
Allegedly,
It's fine.
because it's so big.
um
Only half inch. That's all I can.
That's
so
how
you
much
talked a
reality
little
can
bit about the
comprehend.
background and
100%.
the history and then the culture.
Mhm.
I guess you didn't really talk about the culture as much.
Not really. So, yeah, I guess to explain the culture, so the idea behind the majority of Terra, which is like the continent that they're on, is the basics of that there's several different smaller countries on this that kind of have their own central governments, and they have, their own trade routes and do things. Like I said, the southernmost part is called the Hollow. Part just above that is a large wild grasslands known as Gip. They have a swamp, they have a desert, they have a plains land, and then they have a shadowed corner called the Shadowlands, which is known to be the don't go there, that's where the sun doesn't touch Simba, brah.
Yeah, literally the idea for the Shadowlands came from the elephant graveyard in The Lion King. I'm not gonna lie.
It's good.
Like what are the people like? I know there's different types of species and
so,
races.
I guess
and
for Gip, it's just a bunch of like country hicks. I mean, let's be real. It's a bunch of people in loincloths. It's a bunch of people in cloth manner. Although they can still talk and diversify with you, they're more primitive than your normal race of people or normal culture to be devised. Yeah, just above that's a smaller continent. It's half of a mountain, half of a harbor town known only as the Attic. It's mostly remnants at this point.
And it's the top layer of hell.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, baby. Allegedly.
Yeah.
Do we want to mention which characters are from which?
I'll let them guess. No, I'm kidding. So as we've mentioned them, but I'll just mention them as we go. So the characters that are originally from Gip are both Echo and Oro. So then we get onto the Attic. Like I said, really indescribable town, kind of a port town. There's a lot of people there who are just kind of, you're either there because you have some stock holdings in the large corporations there, or you're there as a religious figure due to the large influx of churches, or you're there to build a boat, and other than that, you're there because you're poor. So, Thainesius is where this is from, which, kind of interesting, where he has a draconic backstory, but the place he comes from is not so, doesn't take so kindly to many races, and mostly tieflings at that.
But he lived in a mountain, so it's kind of different. He lived in the mountain like...
He was poor.
Just because I ate at rocks didn't make me poor.
Fire. Rock.
Allegedly.
After that, there's a small island in between that separates the continents, just known as the Island of the Wyverns. Not going to get into that too much. It's sort of a backtrack for now. We'll get into it later. But just above that, there are then two more continents. On the right is the large military complex known as Leontaine. That's where Walker and... No, not you. Sorry. That's where Walker is from. It's a huge military. They have a lot of royalty. They have a lot of
Money.
old indigenous people there. They have people like high elves. They have normal elves, half elves, frost elves. They also have a large population of a werewolf, more to the eastern side of it. But they have a huge werewolf pride pack.
It's a
What do you
pack.
Infestation?
That's the
Infestation,
correct
probably.
term.
Yeah. Oh. No, yeah. Sorry, I guess there is a prior other character who's not really a part of the campaign anymore, who's also from Leontaine. But I mean, again, he's not a player anymore, so it's okay if he stays unknown.
it's secret. You guys don't get to know.
Yeah, you'll get to know him.
Listen to the bonus episode. There won't be one.
There's not going to be one. You're lying.
Talk about all the characters that
This won't even be released.
Yeah, it won't. To the left of that is a small city, a very large city, very known for its academics, for its wizard prowess, for its people that want to know more about entrepreneurship and business, known as Carcassonne. Huge academy city. This is where Mr. Kellner and the priorly mentioned Kaikua had come from. He's no longer here, so obviously I just wanted to mention because he was mentioned. But yeah, this is a city that a lot of people, they talk about the mysterious waves that always wash up near the end of the shore. People having weird, mysterious dreams about tendrils taking them at the end of their bedside, or getting mysterious visions at the end of a night once coming back from a sailboat. It's a really interesting town. And then the final city is known as the capital. The most royal, most upper cloth people can only be there. And this is, it's the city of it's basically the center, I guess, well, it's not the center, but the center figuratively of the entirety of that continent.
Rest in peace to Fat Priest.
Rest in peace to Shafid, yeah.
We will all miss him.
Well, I miss him, so.
Can we have a compilation of Fat Priest to play immediately right now? Okay, thank you.
Thanks, editor.
Maybe it is.
Thank you, editor.
Allegedly.
That's me.
But that's kind of everything on Terra. But you'll notice I didn't really say Les Kai was from anywhere.
Yeah.
So where's Les Kai from?
You can guess in the comments down below.
Did I do that in
or you
podcast?
And then
Tell
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
A planet called Doram.
If you
It's
if you
not
end up
of
guessing that correct, good job.
Duram.
If not, put
Yeah.
down in the comments that
If
you
you
didn't
ended
guess
up
right.
guessing mysterious alien prince, you were right.
All right.
If not, you'll get flogged.
If not, fuck you.
You're now allowed to subscribe to the Patreon.
Yeah. We'll blacklist you by your IP address.
Yeah.
Get bent, loser.
Yes.
Be sure to leave your address down in the comments.
love you all.
It's great
Please.
for YouTube algorithm.
Please know that. I love my 21 subscribers. I don't want to lose any.
We love our subscribers.
Adam,
Yeah, what's up?
explain like there's a lot of major events, a lot of conflicts, a lot of team conflicts, team arguments, but also, what would be the most like? How do I say this without sounding weird? What would be the most like
Influence.
conflict part of the team? Like there's a lot of
Are
fights.
you asking who's the problem child of the character team?
Sure.
Yep. All right.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you're saying who causes the most issues?
Yeah.
That could be argued.
That's
actually.
a really interesting question.
Don't look at me.
As I only look at you. No, I don't even want to hear like me. No,
I didn't say
whenever
me.
there's a set plan of a session or something to happen, Dylan has this innate nature where he's like, I'm gonna create a subplot just right here, right in the middle of all that you're doing. I'm just gonna do my own thing, right?
May I intervene?
Yeah.
One of my favorites is there was an entire subplot of Les Kai deciding to go through a town trying to find marijuana. And when he finally finds it, he ends up meeting
Spider dwarf.
A spider. Well, not just that. He meets a very small man who sells weed, as well as
He
Otis.
smells like it too.
And buys the weed, goes home, gets completely toasted, walks out of the house, sees a man who is half spider, and freaks out, kills him right there in the middle
Half
of the road.
dwarf and half spider.
Half
it's literally
dwarf,
a
half
dwarf
spider.
spider. It was hilarious.
And kills him in the middle of the street. And
Did
of
it-
course, here's Heinrich, who is a known murderer, just sitting there like, well, that's neat. And as the guards turn around, he steals the body.
Yeah.
And then when the guards turn around, they're like, wait, there was just a body. Or it's like, oh, I don't know, that was crazy, man.
Heinrich is the epitome of a grave robber. Like,
Oh,
I find
100%.
it
Yes,
hilarious.
The term came from him, actually.
I'm fairly sure he
Probably.
probably invented it. Like,
yeah.
Heinrich kills Otis and all of them just as like a little thing of, don't worry, Les Kai, I'll avenge you for what you did.
Yeah. See, I find the whole thing with Les Kai hilarious because I always thought that Oro was going to be like a problem child, always creating situations, but Les Kai completely blows him out of the water when it comes to creating situations. Because during that whole thing, Oro had an idea of like, well, we can't like you would think that a barbarian would be totally for killing the guards and saving his friend. Oro was completely like, should we do something? What should we do? Like, what's going on? And then it's like, he kind of just did this to himself, so I'm not going to do anything.
Everybody just ignores me, and then there's that. I actually go to jail, and then
That one was
As if
good.
anybody wants to bring this up.
I went to jail.
and
It was
and
a
like
subplot. It worked.
because killed somebody. And I don't know, when it comes to D&D, like D&D can be anything. Like, so like when I play D&D with my friends, like I just all common sense just leave. It's all gone. There's no common sense anymore.
Well, and that's super true, especially for you, Dylan, because you are by far one of the most spontaneous players I have ever played with.
No,
I've only ever played with you guys, but the nice thing about Dylan and Les Kai as a character is Les Kai can be giving you a motivational speech about how killing is wrong and peace is the only option, and then 2 sessions later, he's pissing on Oro while running from a god. A god. He decides instead of running his ass away, he pees on his teammate.
Yeah, can I just preface that there is a literal godly being standing right next to Les Kai and Oro, and Les Kai panels out his turn and then decides, "Hey, can I pee on Oro as my action. That thing that you only get one of. He's like, can I do that in the presence of a god? And I'm like, excuse me?
I was
Fascinating.
showing the favor, okay?
It
And
gets
we
so much better too.
Sounds really
Because this was a chase sequence,
Yeah, uh-huh.
So our actions were spent like running away. So there was like a tree line that was like supposed to be safe because there was like a magical veil of some sort, right? And most of the people made it out until Leskai hadn't. So Thainesius came up with a good idea to use the spell Banishment to get him to a demi-plane.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't know.
Away from there so that this godly being wouldn't notice him. And so that's what happened. Leskai complied with the spell. And so he went to that demi-plane for a minute, I believe, and came back with a perfect chance to run and meet us at the edge of that magical veil. And I'd like to ask, what did you do?
Yeah, instead of running or being quiet, what'd you do?
I said, you motherfucker.
And we almost lost Leskai for the 5th time?
Mind you, this was right before him yelling that was this really touching scene with him and his father. And, like, this was the first time that he even said, like, yeah, there's somebody in the party named Heinrich that reminds me of you. I'm like, oh, that's real nice. And then he comes out of the entire banishment realm and just looks towards Thainesius' direction and yells, motherfucker, at the top of his lungs. And, of course, here's Heinrich sitting there like, well, maybe I should try to save him. So he just waited on the sideline because I'm not going back out there.
I thought about numerous ways that I could possibly save Leskai, and Adam just kept reminding me, you do anything, and Abe, the god's name was Abe. Abe was going to notice, and I was like, well, fuck. I guess I'm not going to do anything. Sorry.
I gotta say
and then
right
we
now,
lost
I gotta say right now, Oro wanted to throw hands with that man like so bad.
Well,
every action he's like, "Can I fight him?"
Well, the thing is that in character, Abe had already betrayed us once while we were in a mountain city called Vesa. So I was pissed about that, and we killed him. But then he came back. So every time that I saw him, I was calling him a bitch, a bastard, like all these different things. And then when we saw him again, it led to the in-game death of Orion because one of our players was going to be leaving, and Orion
Allegedly.
Orion was going to be Orion's player was leaving the campaign, so we were going to do a death for him as he was cast into Azathoth, the Elder God's realm, and that also pissed my character off. My character very much is fueled on emotion. He's working on that right now, but it's kind of just his thing. I wanted that god dead.
Emotion and Viagra, got it.
Jesus.
No, if he took it, he'd be better than he is.
Ouch. Oof. Yeah, I'm the butt of a lot of jokes. Oro is the butt of a lot of jokes. But yeah, yes, I wanted to throw hands with this god because I was just so sick of him. But, you know, I chose not to do anything, and we lost a technical member of our group who sacrificed himself to save Leskai, which was his symbiote Rancor. Yeah.
But was Orion vital? No.
Not really.
Okay, but Heinrich liked him. I mean, he at least beat up Heinrich at one point, and, you know, that's how you gain Heinrich's respect. You got to beat him up in a fight.
I never got that chance.
Yeah, I'm waiting. All you got to do is say,
you want to go?
Fight me. Fight me.
Oh?
You forget Heinrich's first words were "fight me," and when you guys fought with,
I labeled that as his catchphrase.
Yeah, it's.
So bringing it back, was there any major, events that happened that like really struck the group besides Leskai?
I mean,
9/11.
Yeah. No, totally. 9/11 was huge, guys.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I remember the day the towers fell, like yesterday, actually. It being before I was born.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, I was getting my Lego set 90% done, and that airplane just came out of
Shut up!
Yeah.
All right, so we're editing
I
that
can't
out.
I remember when they captured Osama bin Laden.
Trump was like, and we got him. We're gonna
And
get
John
him.
Cena came out during WWE and was like, "Ladies and gentlemen,
We got him.
We got him.
And nobody saw it coming because it's John Cena.
It's John Cena. Yeah, obviously.
When I mean major,
What do you
when I
mean by
mean-
major event?
major events, not like worldly,
like that chase from Abe, like that thing we were just talking
Yeah,
about."
that
was
was
pretty
pretty
major.
good.
I'm not gonna
What about
lie.
the rain is coming?
Oh, that's
Oh,
an awesome
gosh,
moment to talk
that's a
about.
really
Yeah, Rain's
long
Coming
one.
is a really good one.
That
Go
is
ahead.
a really
And
long
also, what about our dreams?
Oh, the
I
dreams
can.
actually cool
okay.
set- are
Okay.
actually
I'll talk
cool
about.
cool segment.
I'll talk about Rain's
No.
Coming, and then I'll just touch on the dreams just a little bit. So,
Are we talking about regular dreams or the
Wet
good
dreams.
kind?
The
Yeah,
wet-
that was what I was like.
None of them are dry.
yeah, there you go.
Why do you think they're saying that the rain is coming?
All right. So the story behind Rain is Coming is the first. I think it's the first 3 sessions of the campaign in total. I'll be real. I'll summarize it real quickly because I don't want to spend too much time. So obviously, all the characters are dropped into the Hollow. That's this cursed forest. They're all mysteriously chased after by this giant blackened lizard with silver hair. As obviously Enuma, their like guide member, he runs past them all and says, "Come with me, run, don't stay."
Getting my Lego set 90% done. And that airplane just came out of
Shut up!
Yeah.
All right, so we're editing
I
that
can't
out.
I remember when they captured Osama bin Laden. Trump was like, and we got him.
And John Cena came out during WWE and was like, "Ladies and gentlemen,
We got him.
We got him.
And nobody saw it coming because it's John Cena.
It's John Cena. Yeah, obviously.
When I mean major,
What do you
when I
mean by
mean-
major event?
major events, not like worldly,
like that chase from Abe, like that thing we were just talking
Yeah,
about."
that
was
was
pretty
pretty
major.
good.
I'm not gonna
What about
lie.
the rain is coming?
Oh, that's an
Oh,
awesome moment
gosh,
to talk
that's a
about.
really
Yeah, Rain's
long
Coming
one.
is a really good one.
That
Go
is
ahead.
a really long
And
one.
also, what about our dreams?
Oh, the
I
dreams
can.
actually cool set-
Okay.
are
Okay.
actually
I'll talk
cool-
about.
cool segment.
I'll talk about Rain's
No.
Coming, and then I'll just touch on the dreams just a little bit. So,
Are we talking about regular dreams or
Wet
the good
dreams.
kind?
The
Yeah,
wet-
that was what I was like.
None of them are dry.
yeah, there you go.
Why do you think they're saying that the rain is coming?
All right. So the story behind Rain is Coming is the first. I think it's the first 3 sessions of the campaign in total. I'll be real. I'll summarize it real quickly because I don't want to spend too much time. So obviously, all the characters are dropped into the Hollow. That's this cursed forest. They're all mysteriously chased after by this giant blackened lizard with silver hair. As obviously Enuma, their like guide member, he runs past them all and says, "Come with me, run, don't stay here." And they all go and escape.
Oh,
the
this
monster.
this is quite mentally hot. Big black long silky
Oh,
hair.
gosh.
Carry on.
Continue. So yeah, the party escapes. They come to the edge of town, and they decide to take a small detour around to just this little cabin. They find an old man standing outside. He's got a shotgun to his hip, and he's simply just standing out on his porch. And when they try to make any sort of conversation with him, he can only respond with a single phrase, which is, "Rain's coming." And he just
Rain's
repeats
coming.
that. Whether he can change his inflection, he can make it louder, silenter, whatever he wants. But that's all he can say. That's all he can tell them, and that's all it is. So once making their way back into town, our good friend Les Kai grabs a small sample off of the outside of town of that silver hair for the lizard monster, and he's like, okay, this might be good to figure out what's going on with it. So the party continues into the town. They go around, they talk to a couple people, they meet with the mayor, and the mayor's obviously really stricken, where he's like, there's this beast who's been roaming around the outside of the forest for days, and we don't know what to do or how to get rid of him. Anything with a sword or a spear or a hammer, none of it can pierce the silver hairs along him, so we just don't know what to do to deal with him. So the party takes this knowledge, and they're like, okay, we're going to go and think of a weakness for this. So they go and they settle down for the night. There's a small excursion that night where they go and they take out some cultists and potentially summon a big old wraith and kill it. And there's a whole different subplot. But after that, the morning of, there's rain drops tickling onto the window of the inn, and they're like, oh, rain's coming. They're like, we don't know what that means. And they're like, ah, dang it. So They proceed to walk out of the inn. It's raining, but they all rush into the mayor's home because they're like, we got to figure out a plan because they're going to have a festival soon, and we got to get this monster dealt with. And so they all come in. They're sopping wet, and they go over to the mayor, and the mayor's like, he's like, how are you doing? Here's some plans that we have, and they're just discussing back and forth. And the court wizard comes up to Leskai, and he's like, do you have a sample of the beast? I know you had mentioned it before. Can I see it so we can study it and try to figure out what it is? So Leskai's like, yep, here you go. He goes to hand the silver hairs to the court wizard. The court wizard grabs it, and immediately he pulls on it, and those hairs immediately all break and spindle. Unlike earlier when people couldn't pierce it with a sword or a spear, they just ripped it apart like it was some like silk fabric that was like the softest on earth. And they're like, what? And then, all of a sudden, it just clicked with all of my party members, watching their face light up when they're like, Rain's coming! He was telling us the weakness of the monster. And they're all like, oh my gosh, we know the weakness. It's water. You get him wet. So, after that, they start to make
everybody
small...
started getting addressed.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So, after that, the parties, they get around with the mayor, and they're like, all right, here's what we're going to do. And they start discussing, and all of a sudden... I do a subtle change where instead of just townsfolk music and ambiance, I change it very subtly. I put on a track of people screaming and running for their lives on the outside. I make it super, super quiet. Walker, our illustrious half-elf, immediately goes,
Hi.
Wait, listen. And as soon as she does, I crank it up that people are screaming and yelling, and they bust out of the doors of this mayor's house and see this hulking beast run its way into town and stop directly under a canopy so it's no longer getting wet. And then they have to have this fierce battle where they're ripping the canopy off and slashing at the monster and beast and taking it down. And it was so wonderful of a build-up, and it's probably just still one of the coolest, like, not even eludations, but just like smaller like arcs or campaigns that I just love it. Like, no matter what, if you even did that for just a one-shot, it's so cool. Just feeling and knowing that you're a part of it and knowing a mystery.
I have to say, like, being one of the characters that was, really in that moment, D&D felt real at that point. And it was so cool to be so immersed that even a subtle change in audio created this whole level of immersion that just wasn't there before. And Origin Hollow always has great sessions. There's always a lot going on, and it's always amazing. But there are definitely some moments way back in the beginning that still just hit right, that are just amazing to remember and think about. And that's one of the coolest things about D&D,
And, like,
definitely.
That was like the start of like
Yeah.
the whole thing.
That was start, yeah.
Like-
at the when you guys had killed it, I think it was Enuma who shot a fireball at the lizard. All of a sudden, this beast that was only roaring and making loud sounds, he started retching, and all of a sudden the lizard creature was speaking in just like common tongue, and he was saying the name Welker. And that like set up the entirety of the campaign after that, where they're hunting down and figuring out who this Welker guy is, and turns out he's a mad scientist creating all these creations and monsters, and he's like the big bad. But it was so cool as like a just starting.
He's not just a scientist now, is he, Adam?
Nope, not now, but that's a story for another time.
The Unforbidden bonus episode.
Oh yeah, it'll be in the bonus episode. It's not coming out. What else did you want me to talk about after that?
Dreams.
The dreams. Oh, okay. Yeah. So early on in the campaign, we're not doing them now for specific story reasons. But so
those?
early on, what?
Do you want to share those?
No, I do not actually. So yeah, early on in the campaign, and pretty much any time that the party would take a long rest, I would have this fun system where they would all have the same dream, whether it was some kind of mysterious, mystery with outlining like sort of things, or if it was like directly pulled from some kind of memory from somebody, or if it was like current events that were happening that they were just having visions of. But slowly it started to build into something more, where like a bunch of people would have the same dream, but then another person would have their own personal dream of something special happening, whether they're remembering it or just being haunted by some form of trauma in their past. And I think it builds a cool narrative on like the down low for your character, because everyone plays D&D when their character's awake, when you're aware, when you're doing things. But I think a lot of people sort of forget about D&D when your character is sleeping, when they're inactive. What's the things that are going on in their head? What are the things that are keeping them up at night? I think it's just a cool, direct, like, undertone narrative to that. Sorry, Alex is waving the door because it's hot in here. There's a window. I'm gonna open that now. Let's Kai. What's our next segment?
Oro. What was like? We talk about dreams. What was? Can you
Oro.
remember? Do you remember the Do you remember the favor this guy did for you? That was in good intentions, but like Adam made it worse.
Oh, we're still talking about big moments in the campaign, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I do remember that. So basically, what happened is that Oro had gotten disconnected from his god, which was Boro, the god of the hunt. He is a large boar over deity, and resides over Gip as one of two over deities. The other being the wolf god of chaos, Balto. And Oro had been disconnected from Boro. It's where his last name comes from. He took on the last name Boro after becoming the God of the Hunt's champion. His original last name was actually Tonki, which means pig demon in Japanese, I believe. So what happened was that Leskai made a deal with Selene, the goddess of the blue moon.
Yes,
I believe.
the blue moon.
Yes. And asked her, like, hey, can you get my friend connected back to his god? At which I believe she said something about, okay, but I don't think that he's going to be... I don't think he's going to be super happy with the result. Right, Adam? That's how that went.
Sorry, I was too busy straddling somebody. What?
Selene granted the request for Oro to see his god again, but she said that it might come with consequences.
Don't worry, we were all really
'cause
watching.
She wasn't aware that you didn't know what was happening, so she was kind of scared if you wanted to know what was going on.
Yeah. So basically what happened is that Oro was sent into kind of a dream state to where he was face to face with his god, which was now basically, it's still unclear what's going on because we haven't gotten there yet in the campaign, but it looks to be that Boro has become some kind of eldritch monstrosity, or he's being controlled, or something's basically going on to where he's not himself. So Oro had to fight a version of Boro and basically got devoured. He was terrified afterwards and basically looked at Leskai as, why did you do that? I didn't need to know that he was like that, and it just kind of created a little bit of a rift between them that only got repaired, I think, during the Bremen Ball.
Yeah, I think Leskai's intention was to honestly like help Boro,
but he had no idea.
Yeah, like he was just like, I remember he talking to Selene saying like, "Hey, I want to help Boro with this," and like
There's a ladybug in this room.
Don't you dare hurt
There are
Greg.
ladybugs everywhere in here, guys.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wait, is there
Anyway,
multiple?
It's been like that always, though.
As you were saying, Dylan.
But
Oh, yeah, there are more.
Leskai's intention was just to do something nice for his friend, and like, of course, Mr. DM like wants to make things complicated, as D&D is.
Nothing is ever black and white, though, when it comes to a situation. Like, I feel like that so often, like Oro, for example, he's got this very much set thing of that situations are black and white. There are good guys and there are bad guys. There are no shades of gray. Whereas I feel like people like Dionysius and Walker look at the world as...
There's a lot more ambiguity than that.
Yeah, exactly. But before we pass on to somebody else, I do want to mention that two events that did kind of stand out to me as pretty great was the vampire invasion in Gremza and watching.
You mean the one that I stopped single-handedly?
Exactly.
The real hero.
Pitching a ball of fire like a baseball into the chest of the vampire count that was kind of leading this whole thing, and it was done by our very own tiefling Dionysius, and it was badass.
Yeah, I was playing catch with the dad I never had. Also, that was about the only bit of damage I did to the vampire lord.
Well, we were all. It was a cantrip spell, firebolt, and that was it.
Yeah, that was it. That was all it was. I just happened to do the finishing blow.
Well, that's while a vampire. No, wait. Orion wasn't a vampire yet at that point.
He became it afterwards.
He became it afterwards, but he was fighting this guy, and they had done like a they were playing like a card game basically, where they were drawing from the deck of many things, and it was horrible. To where the boss kept getting more powerful items and other things, and Orion kept getting bad stuff happening to him. But then they started fighting, and I think the only saving grace, because I know that Oro got knocked out during that fight, because it was basically the three of us, because Walker and Dionysius had originally been dealing with
that damn water cat.
Yeah, which I everybody was listening to Oro a lot more. Like
No, hold on. I should tell the story
Yeah, go
because, as is typical, a lot of us know each other outside of D&D, and we all love Aaron very much, who plays Oro. But there
You're
are
my little
moments
sister.
where sometimes Oro and Aaron just go too far, and it's okay. It's not a big deal. And the one time we all said it is not a big deal. The cat that we all thought was so innocent. Well, he was not so innocent. He happened to be a vampire thrall.
We can all agree.
After that, oh no.
There's some
Allegedly.
pussy's really good and some of it's really bad.
That was a really
was gonna
bad
say
one.
something to
That one was a really bad
All right.
one.
Go ahead.
Oh.
Fatherless
Yeah.
behavior.
Cold damage.
Yeah, basically, Oro suspected that there was something going on with the York. York was his name. He was a watermancer, Nikomata, I believe. Okay. He was a vampire, so Oro was taken a little bit more seriously when he had instincts for certain things, which is kind of all that Oro relies on. He is not book smart. He is more or less street smart with his instincts.
And yet, he was completely fine with letting a murderer join the party.
The smart and street smart
I
is
had
doing
my-
a lot of heavy lifting there.
Yeah. Oro had his reservations about Heinrich, like just saying. Anyway, so that whole thing was a great moment. The other big moment that I can kind of appreciate was the fact of during the Bremen arc, we're dealing with a serial killer and dealing with a ball, and a girl that Oro was deeply interested in, even though he'd only known her for like a week or two.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So she was this red tiefling bard that he really that he was really taken with, and she was killed by the boss. She was actually the only individual to be permanently killed by.
She wasn't killed.
No. You have to tell them what happened.
Allegedly.
He didn't kill her. It was our own dumbass mistakes.
Okay. Yes. We basically every turn of combat, one of the how many women were there again, Adam? Like
5?
Basically this guy named Pedro kidnapped all these women, and he had them set that every round of combat one of them would die in a horrific way. One was killed by being set on fire, but thankfully we had a cleric at the time that was able to bring her back to life. But we went through a round of combat, and Darnere was this tiefling's name, and she was basically crushed and obliterated by some kind of trap, and
It's hard to take on.
the cool thing about this was that it was a very sobering thing for Oro to kind of realize that he has to cherish the time that he has with the people around him. But it also it was a double-edged sword. He appreciated the time that he had with people that he loved, but he also went into despair that he couldn't. He's always had a problem with protecting people. He's always wanted to protect people, but he's lost so many people in his life. Anyway. What happened next was such an interesting thing. Basically, Oro shouted in so much rage that he was able to connect to the god of Wrath itself, and basically take on its visage to where I was able to do so much damage to him that we were pretty close to ending the fight before my character turned back to normal. And Adam is tearing ass over here.
Goated.
Thank God
I
the
just
window
wanted
is
to
open.
interject with a fart.
He's trying to rearrange the
What'd you
artificial
say again?
fabric on that seat.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
So
I don't remember. No, it's later revealed that you didn't gain or like tap into the power of Wrath or connect to him. No, you stole the power of Wrath for like a good couple minutes. Like you took it.
Yeah.
Like, that's how bad it was.
Dude, okay, so like I don't think we ever actually talked about that. Does Oro know how he was capable of doing that, or has that not come to light yet?
Look me in my eyes. Do you think Oro would know?
Probably not.
There's her answer, bud.
I think the best way to always answer that is, Aaron, do you know?
That's so real. Oh my gosh.
That's the question of the day.
I should let everybody know that I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer in this group.
Same.
It's okay to have one dull one in the group to give to that one friend.
I'm gonna fucking kill you.
I won't complain at this point. Kind of in the mood to be roughed up.
Yikes.
Oh my goodness. So based on the characters and based on the choices we made, what choices did you make in the campaign that you wish you never made?
Oh, that I wish I didn't make?
Didn't make, yeah.
That's a good question.
Got him.
My gut response would have been like,
We'll start with Adam. And
letting
go in a
blank
circle.
join.
That was gonna be my first one.
Yeah, what? Which
I was
one?
really gonna be like, I probably wouldn't have let Kaikua play.
Well, there's actually two
Kinda turned
instances
into
of
a
that
dick,
too.
And I was like, well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I thought you were talking about character choices, because I was going to say, I
Oh,
regret
character
nothing.
choices, yeah. Yeah, that's what I meant. Come on.
You know,
All right,
actually,
all right.
Chop, chop.
So Walker's the epitome of like the bad choice, baby. Anything you give me that's a bad choice, I would sell. Walker's awful because he would sell everyone for a corn chip, but I'd pretend I wouldn't do it, but I totally would. All right, he's better now. I'm not.
You said Spotify Premium?
Listen,
Huh?
I've already told our Mr. DM that
2 human souls?
it's a deal.
Got it.
I already told our DM I'll slack the whole party if it means I get what I want. I mean, I'm not. That's really bad.
Is that he could do it too?
Oh no, you know what? I think character choices are probably one of the funnest things, though, because then you actually like get to experience a little bit of regret that's not actually tied to you as a like a real person. But actually, one of the choices in D&D that I do regret in Origin Hollow was in the very beginning. We killed some owl bearers. And, you know, being, like, my first starting, like, D&D real high fantasy, I'm like, oh, yeah, cool. We're going to kill the owl bears. We're going to get some pelts. Let me tell you, Adam as a DM does not forget anything. If something happens, it will come back to haunt you 30, 50, 80 sessions later. And this did indeed happen. We fought the mother owl bear of these cubs. And let me tell you, the whiplash of that was,
Claw.
whoa. It was real. It showed us that our very early actions had consequences.
may I interject in here?
Yeah, for sure. Go ahead.
So a fun fact about Heinrich is for a very long time, Heinrich was stalking the party. And he was just watching in anticipation and trying to figure out, hey, which one can I kill while they walk away from the group. And there's even a running joke where at one time Walker went out to go pee and he was going to go kill him. But the point of this is I was given like this entire thing of, okay, here's the history of this. Read through it, you know, this is what he watched. And getting to that part made me die laughing because it's just the idea of you killed her kids.
Yeah.
And it's like, as Heinrich, as like, yeah, you know, you killed my daughter. How could you? He probably felt for that owl bear.
And the funny thing about Miss Claw is that when we beat her, it was actually Les Kai that got the finishing blow and chose to use his Rancor powers to devour her. So we literally had no respect for how we killed her after killing her kids.
No, we had no respect. We carried those pelts around like they were blankies.
Oh, no, it's that much. It's that much better. Les Kai was the owner of those pelts, carrying them for generations.
Man's just a decimator of families. Don't at me.
Just one question. What did we do with those pelts? Because I know we got rid of them, but what did we do with them?
I don't know.
Ask him. He was the one who still had them. I don't remember.
I thought Walker took them, like after the battle.
I don't know what happened.
I just steal stuff from your bag. I don't know what you want from
Dude,
me.
literally, like the whole session, the whole campaign, we kill everything that walks or moves.
Basically.
And like, I remember like in some part of like during combat where it was like, hey guys, this is it was part, you know, the part when Les Kyle was kind of trying to be reasonable and thinking through things. He's like, hey, let's just like you know, seduce them. Like, let's like, I don't know, let's be nice to them. And, like, give them another way. And like,
seduce them and let's be nice to them are two very different.
Yeah, I know. I realized that. I was like,
Everybody
that's
ends
dumb.
happy though.
But Boro wasn't. Anyways.
So true.
But yeah, like, he was trying to reason with like most of the people, but like the whole group was like, let's kill them all.
Yeah, I think there's some fights that I definitely left room for the party to be like, you can settle this peacefully. You can do this a different way.
I don't think.
But
Yes, actually.
yeah,
I will
No,
say there was
it
one
has.
time. There was one time that Oro tried to talk down. Yondu.
Oh no, I was gonna kill Yondu
And-
100%. But actually, another one that neither of you were a part of. In Gramza, we saved a werewolf because I had wanted to talk to that character. So I had urged that we not actually kill someone, which is so against Walker's character arc. I just stab. It's press A to hit, man. It works.
Press B to blow.
I do want to mention that Yondu was like a plague doctor, I think, or a doctor that was in Gramza.
He was like a
and
funeral
he
guy.
was killed by a giant dire bat. And later he was brought back to life by Welker, and Oro felt so bad because we learned some history that apparently he really liked us. He wanted to even join us, but he
turned into a
did not get the
zealot.
chance. And then he was transformed into a zealot because of Welker, and it pissed Oro off to the point where he tried to speak to him, and when that wasn't going to be the case, it's why Yondu's name has been now added to Oro's vendetta of when we finally do face Walker, he's going to tell them, say their names. He's going to remind Welker of every person that he's ever killed in the campaign.
You put an A in that at one point. It needs an E.
Yeah, I just wanted to apologize for the Welker and Walker are two very different characters.
Yeah.
One of them, Walker is a player. Welker is the evil genius mastermind bad guy.
And the hilarious thing is when I brought the name to Adam as a DM, he's like, "Sounds great," and then I know, and then inside he was probably cussing me out because.
Oh no, I was just laughing. I thought it was
alright.
hysterical that I was like, "You're funny."
I mean, heck, it's like the situation with Aaron's character where it's like one of my main villains is named Alexander Duncan, and then in his character in my campaign is just named Duncan. So I'm like, oh well, this is great.
I was going to say, in Alex's campaign, Celestial Chaos.
Duncan D's.
Oh my
God.
gosh. We have a
it's
lot of
funny that you
campaigns
say
to talk
that.
about.
We have a lot of
going
campaigns
on.
that we're going to talk about. We'll probably talk about Celestial Chaos at
No.
a different time.
Yes.
Well, maybe.
And the funny thing
Your
is that you say
podcast.
Duncan D's. Duncan's full name is Duncan D. Duggery. His name is literally Triple D.
How about we let some of the other cast members talk about like their
Yes.
favorite moments? I think that's a great idea. So
I
Heinrich
think-
and Thinesius for sure. So.
Yeah, Heinrich and Dionysius should mention some favorite moments of theirs from the campaign.
Dude, my favorite moment was the one-shot campaign that I got to do.
Yeah.
Where for an instant there, I had like a perfect Australian accent.
British.
And
It was
like
British.
UK.
British,
Perfect
yeah.
It was
British accent.
It
absolutely
was
perfect.
pristine. And then the next minute, I just let it go.
For the rest of the
Completely-
night, he could not repeat
Yeah,
it.
I just couldn't. I didn't know what.
Let it be known though that I had introduced a cameo of the Origin Hollow group. This one shot that Sean has participated in was actually written for Adam's birthday, and hilariously, I put the Origin Hollow group in there, and Sean's character had picked a fight with Oro, a barbarian versus a sorcerer.
No,
Sorcerer.
he was a bard, I believe.
No.
was-
Anyway,
Oh.
sorcerer who
I'm
rolled a
wrong.
nat 20 to outstrength the barbarian, which is just like a funny little extra thing that happened. Anyway,
And I
Was there a
loved it.
name for that one shot, Autumn?
birthday. Yeah,
birthday.
that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so back
I'm
to
still-
other good moments.
I'm still excited to see if those characters return in Origin Hollow.
They died.
They died in the one
horrific
shot. Adam
death.
could still do something with them though.
Heinrich killed them, ate them.
Yeah,
No.
you can see their corpses.
Maybe,
Well, I tried, 'cause I worked hard on some of those
Rostondo
characters.
will return.
Could
in
you-
Babylon's Wish?
Could you possibly like
Maybe Rostondo will return.
make
in
like a
Babylon's
museum or
Wish.
something and have them hanging up on the wall?
Just like a picture of him. What'd they do?
Dude,
They
I don't know.
technically delivered a small frog to a demented king. That's like what. That's all they did.
And then it exploded.
And then it exploded.
And everyone died.
But like, could
Yeah.
there be like this D and D?
An alternate universe.
This is D&D, right? So anything could happen.
You're not
So-
wrong. Everything can happen.
So could
Allegedly.
That's just gonna be this podcast.
allegedly. this
What's
is
the
called
name of the podcast?
it's gonna be
Not
called
KaiCast.
Origin Hollow, allegedly.
allegedly.
That's actually so good.
Awesome. I was definitely blanking on the name, but there it is.
There it is.
But let's just like role play real quick. Like
Oh, we're doing a
after
roleplay
the-
session.
No, I'm just saying like
Oh,
the characters that were in that One Piece, One Piece. One
In the one
Piece.
shot. Yeah, one piece.
Anyways, that was
That was a previous campaign that I ran.
yeah.
It's also like the biggest manga in the world.
It is.
Yeah, no.
it's also
That's
just
what I
something
ba-
that people know.
I was a big fan of Rustage's One Piece D&D, and I wanted to copy it, so that's what I did, and that's what got all of us into D&D.
Plagiarism.
Yeah.
It's okay,
Summer guy would be
talk like
But
rolling.
could you like probably write in like as the whole group goes into this museum and they see the bodies of the characters?
I could
Heinrich
do
would
that.
totally
Thank you.
steal
I
don't know
them
what the
just
point
as a
of it
joke
would
and
be, though.
amalgamate them.
I just want to be extra.
You just wanted to be
I just wanna be extra.
Okay.
I'll
think about it.
I think the choice going back to choices. Sorry. I think the choices that I made was recently when I like kind of like passive aggressively attacked Walker. And like Ani and I, we should definitely hash this out real quick and like talk about.
You want to talk about the things you've done to me? The verbal abuse. I love the fact that you think your dinky little ranger could take on my
What about-
weird half-elf
What about the
fighter
fact of
dragon
how many
thing.
times have you knocked me out and like?
Look, so there was a joke that we would start knocking people out when they were on 1 HP because I don't know, aggression. There was nothing,
Let's
but
just say Ani was very addicted to it.
it was fun. I have a good time at D&D. It's good. It's good. All the anger that can't be in my real life, it goes there.
It does, and I'm the punching bag.
Look, you started it. That's all I gotta
start.
say. You
I was
did.
trying to be dramatic.
Yes, you are very dramatic.
I'm drama queen, and
Yes.
you know,
This is not saving you.
Les
That-
Kai is the drama.
I'm still gonna kill you later.
That's fine.
And how does that make you feel?
Makes me feel very vulnerable about my life.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah. But yeah, like
See, I'm
I
a
guess-
doctor or something.
What
yeah,
did-
for sure.
I don't know. My I have no data, but like I basically said like,
I forklift.
Yeah, actually, to provide a little background on what really had started Les Kai and Walker's like tiff, and most of it is just embellished for the campaign. I'm not really mad at
Yeah.
it and all that.
I'm not mad at Ani.
It's just fun. I may or may not. Kill
I
her
thought
later.
she was
We don't
actually
know.
mad at me for a while, but
Nah, it's good.
All I'm
But
gonna say is, if they end up killing Leskai after all the work that I went through just to keep him alive, because he was just given a little clock of like, hey, you have 2 days to live.
yeah,
look, it's
basically.
gonna be fine.
Coming
And
up
with
Heinrich
evidence.
is doing his best to keep him alive, including introducing him to an absolute maniac of a god.
Yep.
If he dies, I will not hesitate just to make him a zombie.
Yeah, no, that's see, and that's the thing. I feel like that all of the outcasts, since we added Heinrich to the group, have kind of forfeited that if any of us do die like permanently,
No one's agreed to that. No one's agreed to that. No one's agreed to that.
nobody
Do
has
not.
agreed.
You don't think that that we would all say like, sure, take them?
No.
Oh no, I know for a
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna say this
Not
right
only
now.
that, not
You
all of
guys
us have
would-
our bodies
okay,
to give.
For the record, both of you would probably say no, but if it came down to me or Les Kai dying,
can.
both
No,
of
we
you.
are both so entrenched with our gods. There's literally nothing we can
So
do.
true.
Oh yeah, the
so
gods
our
would
bodies
take
are
those
not
But that's the
bodies
point.
and just say,
I feel like that Walker, Oro, and Les Kai would not want for Heinrich to probably let you guys go and become zombies, but I feel that Walker and Dionysius would not give two shits about letting him take Oro or Les
No,
Kai
he's
to
not
the
taking
zombies.
any bodies. We've already agreed to this, but I don't think Les Kai would agree either.
Do
But
do you think Walker and Les Kai will like either hatch it out or just forgive each other?
Let's run back to that. That's a super good point. So Anuma, as we've talked a little bit about being our guide character, our DM played him. He was a very important part of the journey with the outcasts, which is what this little group calls themselves.
It was my idea.
It's wonderful.
It's with a K. Outcast with a K.
Yes. We'll put
No,
it
it's
in the
not.
description. Subscribe. Yes, it is. We agreed
it
on
is.
this like literally 3 weeks ago. Anyway.
I gotta
But-
change the wiki then.
Yeah, you do.
Gosh dang it, you guys.
We have a
Wiki
wiki page.
boy.
Go to our wiki page. Subscribe.
I'll
I
put
don't
that
even think you can do
in
that.
Can't
Description.
subscribe to a wiki page.
I'm doing what I want. Anyway, so
Read through all the tabs.
It
so
would if we were a
I'll link
podcast.
the subreddit.
oh my gosh. Anuma was a very important character to all the outcasts in a way. We make the joke, we call him Bone Daddy, but he really did act as a
Bone
father
Daddy.
figure. So
Oh, I was like,
Les Kai, on a little off comment, made it sound like Anuma's... He's MIA right now, maybe dead. We're unsure, but Les Kai, yeah, literally allegedly in this case. Les Kai made it sound like it was Walker's fault, and Walker somehow has kind of stumbled into a semi-leader type role, which is I don't know how that happened. I'm the worst candidate, but he'd said that, and it had really offended Walker, and. Well, I have not decided how this will go, but more than likely, I do think that Walker and Les Kai will figure this out. He may have to punch you out, but it'll be all right. You'll survive. You keep living. Like,
I do
Only
keep
request
living.
is there needs to be a chair thrown at somebody. That's all.
Yeah.
oh my gosh! Oh, improvised weapon. 1d4.
There you go. Yeah.
I'll throw it.
I-
I just throw you instead. I can
I
lift
think
Heinrich.
Use Heinrich's
and
Oh,
that
yeah, you
as a
can
club.
lift me, can't you?
Walker can power lift.
So
That
Heinrich
man's
weighs
strong.
500 pounds. So how much damage, Mr. DM, would somebody take from a 500-pound old man being chucked at them?
Allegedly.
Will it kill him? That's all I need to know right now.
It's tough. Like if we're transmitting like weight to actual like force in pounds and throwing things, you can make some real scummy situations with D&D. So unfortunately, there is no direct contribution for weight into an actual weapon. You can just homebrew it and figure it out from there. I'd probably just because it's hard because you never know how they're going to be injured or how they're going to be thrown. So I guess if I were to homebrew it in some form, it would be for every 100 pounds of the person. That'd be a D4 for an improvised weapon because they could recover, they could not hit them right, they could just spin around and maybe not be a weird effective way.
So it'd be
So if you
5d4.
threw Heinrich, it'd be 5d4.
So John Cena him right on top of Les Kai. I feel like force should go into. I just add some force damage in there. Just a
You
little
can
bit.
add your strength modifier.
I can make
Okay.
it real stupid. It'll
Okay,
get
Walker,
good.
we got a plan.
It's gonna be great. Listen, Heinrich and Walker could totally just decimate people. Continue the cycle.
I gotta tell you right now, I'm sure that God will not be happy if I kill this guy.
We will, and then we won't. We'll miss him. That's why he's been kept alive so long. Okay.
The
Anyway.
last guy remind me to have you sign a contract saying in which if you die, I take your body. Okay.
sign contract.
I feel like most of us are going to make that deal at
Sign-
some point.
Sign a contract, big boy.
You're the king of
Sign a
making deals,
contract.
Autumn. Don't shake your head.
Not
Mike
with
Tyson.
Heinrich, that bastard. I've
Get away
I've
me.
disagreed to deals. I've grown
Dude.
up. I'm
Hey,
a
you
big
made
boy.
one deal with me, but then you end up saying, "Hey, let's just alter it," and that so
Hey-
far it's just kind of sitting in the.
Hey,
alter.
Adam.
Yeah, it's kind of just like
Can you make like a like a medieval?
Yeah.
Can I make a medieval?
Can you make a medieval
Think
logo?
about your
I know
next
it's okay.
question real
I thought about it.
May,
but
may I
it's-
quickly bring up? We still haven't talked about the two favorite parts of Dionysius and Heinrich.
Oh yeah.
And I kind of felt bad because Dionysius was holding the microphone for the whole time. I'm like, well, at this point,
It's not really important.
Okay, all right.
Go ahead.
Dionysius?
Alex, why don't you take the lead on this one?
you know exactly what I'm going to bring up. So,
So cute.
when it comes down to Heinrich, my favorite part. So Heinrich had to make a deal with a god, in which end up resulting in him having what is known as wild magic, connected to every single spell that he ends up casting, including cantrips. Well, Heinrich is, I wouldn't call him lazy. He's a bit, spoiled, and he was told to go clean a bathroom. So
They were in a town. They just lost all their money, so they were trying to do like normal people jobs to get money back.
yeah,
I was a
so
awesome cook.
Heinrich sat there, and he gets given a sponge, and he said they get told, "Hey, you go clean this bathroom." So Heinrich's sitting there, and he's like, "I got an idea. I'll cast tiny minions so that they will clean the bathroom for me." So he casts it. It springs to life, and it's like, "Father!" And before it can even say anything, wild magic happens and teleports it randomly across the entire world. So we, to this day, is a running joke of we are going to run into the sponge in the most vital of times. Maybe we're about to fight, Welker in this epic battle, and then a sponge is going to flop on his head because it's been stuck in orbit.
What about that time when you blew? Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I'm still going into it.
Okay.
The second I then walk out of the place and ask, "Hey, guard, I need a new sponge." And he's like, "What happened to the last one?" I just tell him the truth. I lost it. So he gives me another sponge. I go in and I'm like, "I have another spell slot for this. I'm going to cast Tiny Minion." It springs to life, looks at me, and I imagine it looks at me dead in the eyes before it ends up, wild magic occurs, and it casts fireball on itself and blows itself up, blowing up the entirety of the bathroom, lighting it on fire. And I am screaming in the bathroom while guards are coming and putting it out.
It's so unfortunate that I missed that session.
Oh, it was priceless. And as for Oro, the entire joke is my zombie John had him in my basement, and he was just rubbing oil all over him as a massage.
The reason for that being is that I did not realize that we had D&D one night, and I woke up the next morning to realizing that there was a session, and I was like, "Wait, since when?" And
we plan these in like a month ahead too, so it was just like,
it
how
was
did you not
bad.
know?
It made me much more aware of our group chats, which I was not very good at remembering that.
That
stuff.
also happened to Dylan pretty recently.
Yep.
Okay, I had plans.
Allegedly.
I had life plans. It was very hard to figure out.
Let it be said, I felt so bad because I don't like missing sessions, considering that I'm the wiki guy.
Nah, you're fine. We sat there, made a couple jokes out of it, and then, of course, when it came down to Leskai, it's the running joke that he just T-poses whenever he's not there.
Yeah.
So
he's left in an idle animation.
Exactly, like and nobody ever animated the idle animation too, so it's just purely T-posing.
Yeah. Alex, I want to make one more comment before you continue about the sponge.
What's up?
The thing that I honestly want to see is that the sponge was not transported like somewhere else in the world, that he's still somewhere in Terra, and I want him to be found by Welker and made into a member of the Tiras that we will have to
hilarious.
fight later.
That would be absolutely hilarious. That or Jericho has him, and that's going to be his weapon.
If it for whatever reason doesn't appear in Origin Hollow, it should be an Elosphere.
I will remember that for Elosphere, which is my kind of sequel campaign to my brother's current campaign, but that'll be for a later talk.
Are you telling me that every campaign we just decide to double it and give it to the next campaign?
Yeah.
There's going to be two sponges.
I'm willing. I will make a sponge monster. Do not tempt me.
It's just like the American military. Well, not American. It's just like the world military where, like, dude, just leave him. Oh my gosh. It's just like the military where, like, everyone has bombs and we don't know when they'll go off, but it takes one person and then all the sponges come out.
You hear that, Russia? Drop that sponge.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, let's leave Russia the fuck out of this.
I agree.
We've given them enough money. The sponge could be pretty. You don't know what liquid's in the sponge. We legitimately don't know what the sponge is full of.
Okay. I think it's now Thynesis' turn to talk about his favorite
Very
moment in Origin
patient
Hollow.
boy. Yes.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you, Ben.
anyways, when it comes to nuclear arsenals,
So Godzilla.
if all of the known nuclear warheads were lit off right now, it would only affect world trade for a few weeks.
Oh my
Fun
god.
fact.
I have to.
So that means let's all buy some sponges.
Yeah.
All right?
Anywho, so as Thynesis, I mentioned when I introduced him that he is a bit of a sexual fiend, if you would, seeing as he's a tiefling, which I don't believe I mentioned before, but he is a tiefling. And when earlier on in my playing in the campaign, because he joined late, is that he started off by meeting this paladin woman named Fia, and she was cool and had like a big sword or whatever, and he and her copulated or whatever.
In the wagon.
In the group wagon.
That's
and,
why it smelled that way in there afterwards.
yeah, that smell is sex, Oro. I know you don't. I know you're not familiar. But
Is that why my boot got stuck to the floor?
but
Allegedly.
eventually, his second partner was an important knight. Her name was Melania, and so he and she also got it on in the group wagon.
Nicola.
But if you go even further forward, there was this fight at the top of like a volcano. I believe after the circus arc. No.
Oh, are you talking
Where-
about the Volcano Manor?
Yeah, at the volcano manor.
Yeah, when we were fighting Yondu.
Yeah, when we were fighting the guy named Yondu, there was also like a huge dragon corpse on the field, and Fia ended up re-showing up for this battle, and Melania had been traveling with us for a while, and so 2 out of the 3 people that Dionysius had slept with up until that point were in this fight, and this was our most perilous fight yet at this point in the campaign. This guy was able to like petrify people, I believe.
You're talking about Tyel at the tower.
I'm talking about Tyel at the tower.
Yeah.
We met Fia at the Volcano Manor.
But you're talking
and
about
then
the
we
petrified
went
guy.
and then
Yes,
we went that's correct.
Yes, we basically were taking on a former god turned devil. He was the 7th devil progenitor, which are kind of like boss monsters.
There's a
because-
lot of lore going into that. We
yeah,
don't have to
we don't have
to
time
discuss
for that.
part.
Yeah. Anyway,
Nope.
I'm not
Yeah.
gonna go into it. I was just gonna say.
So anyways, yeah, the lore behind
we
that.
were effectively fighting one of this world's devils, and 2 out of the 3 women that Dionysus had previous relationships with were in this fight, and this fight was fatal to say the least. And the only 2 people who ended up dying in this fight were those 2 women that Dionysius had previously slept with, which was it made for very, very weird situations to have to roleplay the next few sessions, like grief in a character that wasn't supposed to feel that, as far as he knew. That was an interesting thing for me, I think. It involved the session where we both cried, playing Dionysius and Dionysius' mom, talking out the impermanence of mortality. That's probably one of my favorite moments, I think.
That's pretty huge. Yeah, I don't
Austin-
know nothing about that one.
And to anybody who is curious, Heinrich did not take those bodies.
He did not. He could not because
buried
they were
them,
petrified.
They were petrified,
and,
but Heinrich
and
wouldn't have
shattered.
taken them anyways because they did fight by his side.
Yeah.
We actually took their remaining pieces and buried them, I believe, in in Kelob. Yeah. You know, I find it funny that both Oro and Dionysius kind of share that they have lost people that they were fond of.
Yeah, the difference is that Dionysius fucked them.
Was it slow? Was it
The absolute savageness of that statement.
That
just...
statement alone just hurts me very.
No, that's
internally.
just Dionysius.
I've got questions about this. Was it slow? Was it steady? Was
Oro
the
has
foreplay
tried.
good? Was it just rough and rude?
Dionysius loves foreplay.
Okay, like elaborate on the foreplay.
because no sex is good without foreplay.
Let's have.
Are you trying to get your rocks?
I'm building up the tension to take it out when I get home. Allegedly.
Okay, you're good.
No.
Allegedly.
All right, to everybody that's listening and who has been turned on by that, please put it away. Anyways,
Zip up those jeans.
We don't want to see it.
What a transition.
I know.
Honestly, that was
Anyway.
excellent.
fade to black.
I have a +1 to charisma. In
I'm a +5.
I know you have a +5. You're much better with the charisma than I am, but I try.
So a little bit of a so a little bit of fun, I guess, with the whole chat. Think of Origin Hollows and think of our characters. What would it be like in a modern day setting?
I like this question.
Have you ever seen Jeffrey Dahmer?
Wow. That's actually a really good comparison.
Exactly. Yeah, that's basically what Heinrich would be.
I'm
except he
thinking
stitches
less
them
guy would be like
together.
Steve-O from Jackass.
That actually, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm having a lot more trouble with this than you guys are.
I know. That's why I'm like, wait.
I'm trying to think of anything when it comes down to Dionysius. The only thing that popped in my head is Magic Mike.
I could see that.
But
Honestly, I'm getting more like the Ryan Reynolds feel, really.
oh,
Really?
Oh, actually.
I wouldn't feel that way.
Oh wait, no. Johnny Sins.
Oh.
You know what? Yeah.
I can see that. I can see Johnny saying.
Yeah, I think we have to look.
We're being Mr. Inappropriate.
No, listen.
Oh, no, Johnny.
I was thinking like characters, actors, stuff, real life,
Yeah.
but a porn actor is what I should have been looking for.
Still apply.
Hey, he's an astronaut. He's a doctor.
Yeah, he can do anything.
Dylan, so that I can get an
We're trying to
idea.
get on his level.
Yeah.
So I can
One
get an
day at a
idea for this
time.
question. Are you talking about how would our characters be in like real life, or who they would be?
I
in
like
real
the
life?
celebrity ones.
Oh,
But
okay.
like,
I was
in
just
like
gonna say that Oro would probably be the drummer in a screamo band, but okay.
actually, Alex, I feel like I can see a lot of Ted Bundy a little bit with.
Okay.
You know, just a lot of murderers.
Yeah.
Actually, just when it comes down to Heinrich.
Stephen King.
Yeah, Heinrich does not, do any nasty with the bodies, as much as the joke of necrophilia.
False. You steal their penises and put them on your own.
Oh, I
don't lie
forgot
to
about
me.
that joke.
Don't lie to me.
As they all rolled for dick size. As they all rolled, well, not as, but all the characters rolled for dick size. Heinrich instead rolled for amount. So there is just a run there. There's a running joke of Heinrich has 8 dicks, and it makes it absolutely
Like a
hilarious.
cow.
Running joke. It's canon.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
sorry.
It's a canon joke.
Did you say cows have 8 penises?
Yeah, like the elders.
one
or
Where am I right now? What is happening?
or those
American anatomy courses are terrible.
What kind of animals do you think cows are?
absolutely horrifying monsters.
They're not even really stomachs. They're cats.
I'm trying to figure out what has 8 stomachs.
Grass.
I gotta look this up.
A cow.
No, okay, hold on. Sorry. Thank you.
Like 8 stomachs.
No,
A whale.
nothing has 8 stomachs, you Dumbo.
4 heads on their penises.
Cows don't even really truly have multiple stomachs, all right? They're just pockets and chasms for them to grind up what they eat, okay?
like a kangaroo.
There's not 8. We have fact
There's
checked.
not
I know what
8.
I'm thinking about when I say that's something.
Someone's got a phone out. Hold on. I
Ben,
don't study
bring the cow
bovines. Yeah, please. Bring le cacao.
But Oro, Dylan.
Yeah,
to
hang
answer
on.
your
The
question-
fork truck's still trying to get Dylan's mom up the
To
stairs.
answer your question, I don't know any off the top of my head, but I feel like the only real life representation for Oro would probably be like a 16th, 17th century samurai or shogun.
No, I feel like you'd be more like Jim Carrey.
Are we seriously doing like
I think
celebrity?
I was thinking more like Danny
I think
DeVito.
Oro thinks himself to be like Miyamoto Musashi, but he's
Something like
a
that,
lot
yeah.
more.
Dude, you remind me. You know what?
He's a
Oro-
lot
oh,
more
sorry.
like the middle child in a sitcom.
You know what Oro reminds me of? Like, I don't even know you that well. You remind me of the dragon off Mulan. Like, you know.
I mean, my
That's a
character
really
does
good
shoot
one.
fire.
You know?
Like, it's weird. I'm a barbarian, and I opened a magic book, and then Adam kind of added more stuff to it that basically turned me into the frickin' Avatar.
What would talking about modern day things.
about Johnny Sim?
Oh my
That is
God.
pretty modern.
I think a couple weeks.
Creator of Sims.
Sims.
I
1,
think-
2, 3, and 4.
I think a couple weeks ago we talked about in the group chat what would your Google searches be?
Oh my gosh, I remember
Okay,
that
hold on.
conversation.
Yeah, does everybody have their Google
I don't-
searches?
I
Those
don't
are
remember.
actually
I never-
so funny.
I never actually.
I
would
made
not
one.
have to
We'd
scroll
have
back
to scroll
that
back
far.
a really long time.
Think about like what would a tweet be? What would like
What would a
Your-
tweet be?
Yeah.
That's actually really good.
It's actually a really good question.
That is.
Gosh.
let's guy Nothing. Just nothing. I did it again. I don't know.
Actually, honestly, hold on though. For Les Kai, if we just want to go back a little bit, he's literally the epitome of like Steve Urkel. Did I do that? I do that. 100% assuredly did do that.
I feel like most of Les Kai's tweets would probably like
They'd be
associate some kind of
stupid.
video with a dumb comment.
No, I feel like Oro's tweets would be like, Samurai Fire Sword!
He would
with
definitely
a
tell
whole
you
bunch
about
of
the
emojis,
coolest
and then like the eggplant of like representing like big dick.
I feel like Walker would be a little out of touch with with the tweet. He wouldn't really know what he was doing, so it might just look like he like half started something and went like shit, fuck, and then he sent it, and then his comment would be like messed up, deleting it right now.
I can see that.
Do you know what a comment from Welker would be?
Ooh.
His tweet would be L plus ratio. And everyone would get got because he's just a mastermind.
You know, when it comes down to Heinrich, his tweet, I bet would just
he's botting his account. He's botting his account so
100%.
I bet Heinrich's would just end up being like, "I miss the good old days," and just like,
And then there's pictures of the Nazi Germany wars. And you know I'm right.
the worst
He would
part is
he would also probably post like links to like the dark web.
oh my gosh, honestly,
Click this link. Oh no.
click this
I
link
feel
or don't.
like-
And it's like, where did you get this human foot?
I feel like
I don't know. I just tried
It'd be
to
those
found
YouTube
it.
videos of I ordered a box off of the dark web. What's inside?
yeah.
I know what Dionysius' tweet would be. It would be my nudes in bio.
You can't just throw that hint of a great time out in the group chat and then just like, it's no big deal, just walk away from it. You can't get us hard and then be like, yeah, you'll figure it out.
It's called edging.
I'm so.
And you're gonna get used to it.
Well, I know I'm gonna get
Uh-oh.
the foreplay of enticing me with more edging while enticing me on the edging.
I'm not gonna let you come.
You're gonna try not to, but even trying will.
Though
Make it happen.
to answer Dylan's thing
Oh my
about I feel, in all honesty, I feel that Oro's whole page for Twitter would probably just reside of like what you would see on a Gym Rats.
Oh my gosh,
Thing.
yes.
Yeah,
He'd be
it would just
shirtless
be-
in all of that?
Yep. He would
And
just
then
post
just
a lot of
random
stuff about
pics-
getting gains.
Looking at my new gains, guys.
Yeah.
Gained 5 pounds.
With occasional,
honestly, with maybe a post or two about like weapons that he's collecting.
I can imagine the occasional like little pictures that just says "I miss her."
I can see that.
I know exactly what you mean.
That
Everything reminds me of her, but it's super vague because he's never seen what a vagina looks like.
Hold on.
And it's just like a picture of a triangle.
I am so sorry. I just went down the rabbit hole of thinking about Reddit threads and the fact that on a sidebar, Walker's been after a woman since like
God.
forever. No, it's great. So
Well, you
his
said
ar-
Reddit threads. That's
No.
why I was like, oh
His
god.
Reddit thread would be r/am I the asshole for following this woman? She told me not to.
oh my gosh, he would get arrested.
you would
Would be
end.
great.
R/stalking.
yeah.
Heinrich's
feel like-
on there too. Yeah, I get you.
And then the incels would join and be like, "You're doing a great job."
Alex, I feel like Heinrich's post would be.
He's not a bad
They're all
guy.
listening to me.
What's that?
They're all listening,
They're all listening.
or they're coming
I'm
after
so
me.
sorry.
They're all gonna come after me. They all know my past. I can't let them
Oh,
find out.
FBI's here. Gotta go. Logging out. Peace.
Get in the submarine back to Argentina.
Hey, Adam. What would a tweet from Enuma look like?
He'd probably post some really sweet paragraph about how proud he is of his children and his boys, and then it's just like he's just like a dad, so like all the pictures are blurry and not like clear, and like you think it's them, but you're like, maybe I don't know.
We did find the Google searches. Did you want to
Yeah.
see those or
Yeah, go
not?
ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Here, do you want to start, Dionysius?
So, are we starting with our own? We're going with our own? Or...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Okay.
Whatever. Yeah.
So, mine started with, are birdmen strange? Just in general. Why is my friend so weird? That being in relation to the prior question. How to tell if someone has a depressive disorder, in reference to Walker. How to cope with the loss of a father. And that speaks for itself. Good tattoo artist near me. And am I a horrible person? That's it.
All right, let's see Walker's.
Mine got like dark real quick. They're actually super long.
Do I have any of them?
So I added the little search Google or type a URL, and it goes, how to get parental love. Why doesn't my mom love me? Military application. Military age restriction. How to show dad you appreciate him. Is your arm going missing? Normal? No, I won't explain. Why don't I feel normal? What's wrong with me? PTSD symptoms. And I just realized I spelled that wrong. Wow.
Walker.
Yep. Paranoia bad. Coping. Guilt coping. Survivor's guilt. Imposter syndrome. Rituals. World tree. And then I just added a bunch of Satanistic text at the bottom.
my
but I don't
gosh.
remember what I was trying to say.
What does mine say on?
How far up are you?
I don't know. Did I even put any on there?
I am unsure.
I didn't add one.
I
I
was
saw
gonna
it
say.
and I brought upon the trend, and then I never.
Oh yeah, no, Heinrichs
responded about it.
are great. Yeah.
All
Okay.
All right.
That's fine. Yeah. Go
So
ahead,
Heinrich's search history is how to unstitch your hand from your leg, how to disinfect a dead body, how to clean dimensional planes, why won't your daughter talk to me anymore,
She's dead.
how to tell if your daughter is alive, how to revive your daughter humanely, how to preserve a body, what is my assistant's name, name generator with names starting with J, how to cook bird, in reference to Leskai.
Hey yo.
Up next is Vinny. How to delete history. Vinny OnlyFans. And last but not least, of course, Sponge Locator.
Sponge
on Amazon.
on Amazon.
On Amazon.
Oh, I don't know. Did I put mine on?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I think I did this when I was working, so none of this makes sense.
No. I was gonna say that. Last guy doesn't make sense.
You bought a Darth Vader outfit.
I did.
Yeah.
No, it's an Anakin outfit.
All right, go ahead.
Just needs something shaft-like in his hand, all right?
Aaron has just been stealing mics this entire time, and it's been really funny because it just like it's like attention whore, but not.
He'll just
I gotta
leave
tell
it,
you, at one point he even took
there's
mine.
Him and I are sharing one, and then Austin's next to him, and he's taken Austin's like twice. He's gotten up and taken Dylan's like 2 times.
I actually
I'm like,
handed it
"Dude,
to him."
Just ask me for it. I'm right here. Well, see, that's the thing. Actually, I think I did take it from Austin like once or twice, maybe 3 times. Dylan handed me his.
Dude,
and then
no,
Autumn
I
handed
could
me
see him
hers.
shaking like up and down, like he wants to say something.
Yeah.
So like,
so
I'm, just
I'm
like, oh.
sorry. I'm not trying to be an attention whore. I swear. Trying to give babies pacifier.
Yeah, I know. All right.
Okay, so we're gonna.
Okay.
Yeah,
Let's guy. How to be a psychopathic that shifted to a dog that has mommy issues and girl problems. How to make ham.
Yeah.
How to bring back Elvis.
Okay.
Can eagles fly? How to get rid of rectal dysfunction.
Toes, by the way.
How to
No, it does say rectal dysfunction.
rectal.
Oh, it is rectile, so it's not even
No, it's an ass problem.
He definitely meant erectile, but it just went. It's
Oh yeah,
Auto
erectile.
corrected.
It did.
If that's true, I feel bad for Forrest.
How to make pizza out of mud, and how to make a move on the elf forest.
I don't think I wrote any down for that, but I feel like that I feel like that Oro's like search history like wouldn't really be that long because I feel like that it would take away from his workout like regimen, but it would probably be how to get more gains. There would probably be like a search for
How to be a virgin.
for red-skinned horn chicks in my area.
Trend
That
pros
kind
and
of
cons.
Yeah. What?
Trend pros and cons.
Yeah, trend pros and cons.
How to get laid.
How to get laid. Yeah, I can see that.
How to talk to girl.
How to talk to girls.
How to put rubber on.
How many? Yeah.
Where do babies come from?
How many weapons can you own until you're considered a serial killer? Or
You need to kill people to consider a serial killer.
Well, see, he doesn't know that.
Anger
Fun fact,
management.
you just need one.
And probably what to do when your dad dies would probably be another one.
You rejoice.
Ouch.
You know what? I'll join you on that idea.
Ouch.
Heyo.
Who didn't? Is that it?
I think that's all of us that had tweets. Yep. That's all of our characters that had
yeah.
tweets.
So Adam, we're gonna wrap up here.
What's up?
So what is going on with the Outcast right now?
So, currently, the recent mission that they're undertaking is they've gone into a larger outpost. They're within the Godless Valley, so a lot of them don't have contact with their outside sponsors, you could call them, or godly deities. So they're kind of on their own. Right now, they're in a steampunk city known as the Arcadia Outpost. They've met up with their old blacksmith. They know that their wagon's been taken. Currently, they're getting more information on Knight Leasu. He was a guy who stole a big artifact from them earlier on the tower. I think it was priorly mentioned as when he took it from them. So now they're trying to figure out a way to beat him because the majority of the city is giant furnaces and a huge steampunk workshop. So the idea is what'd you throw?
I threw a ladybug.
Oh, you threw a ladybug. Oh my god, he'll be fine. He'll be fine.
Killed Adam's stride.
No, it's all right. So right now they're trying to find a weakness to him because being within the furnace city, I mean, he's a being that's made completely out of fire, so he would just absorb all the energy from the city, and he could pretty much wipe them out pretty easily. So they've teamed up with the academy, and they're trying to get the headmaster to assist them, but the headmaster needs a task from them first. He's like, there's a student in this school that's being possessed, and I need you guys to figure out who it is and,
Do it
exorcise
undercover.
the demon, and do it undercover.
Mhm.
So we have a couple members who are currently not themselves.
Deep in cover.
Deep in cover. Very deep.
Jerry.
Some of them are Zapizza.
Some of them are from the New York side of Terra.
Are they
The New York bloodline.
Are they doing a good?
The New York bloodline, yeah.
Are they getting close to solving it or no?
They've gotten a lot of nice leads, and Les Kai's gotten some uninformed news about
Yeah.
his. He'll die in about 2 days' time, so he's trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
Huge subplot.
Huge subplot in the middle of it,
And
but
this-
they're getting quite close to figuring out the mystery of the girl that is possessed. They knew it was a female. But also the day is getting later. They know that at some point it's going to strike soon. They're kind of on a time clock, and the session ended with Heinrich attempting to greet his known god Jack to Les Kai, and all of a sudden Heinrich wasn't within his lab anymore. He was outside into the school, and it was just Jack and Les Kai, and it ended with Jack looking to him and saying, "How about we make a deal?" And then the session had ended. So exactly tomorrow after this recording is when we'll pick up on that.
And I have to say, I'm extremely excited.
I'm extremely
because
excited.
I made Jack, and I absolutely love his complete insanity.
Mm-hmm.
And two, I tried everything to keep this man alive, including attempting to sell his soul, basically. Because I even looked at him as a player, because I hate the idea of hey, I don't want to, consent is the number one thing. So it's I looked at him dead in the eyes. I'm like, how desperate are you? And you just looked at me, I'm gonna die.
And then I will
did
kill
say
him
that.
shortly after he lives. It will be great.
Hey, Adam. But I thought that that the gods couldn't talk to their people in the Godless Valley.
That is true. I did say that a lot of people can't contact their gods at the time, except Those are the primordial status. So Walker has gotten to talk to the god of death, Kalemvor, being in the primordial category of gods, and
Sure,
Heinrich has gotten
Kalemvor.
to talk to Jack, being in the primordial.
And Kalemvor.
And Kalemvor.
Yeah, after getting
Kalemvor and Kalemvor.
Yeah, two different Kalemvors.
There's two. I don't understand. I'm very sad and angry.
We need to talk about this, Walker.
Listen, no one will tell me. I don't know that there's two. I need the
You know, all I need to
clue.
do is touch the book. It's going to show that there's a second one.
Is that true? Is that
It
true?
already showed it with Morden.
Oh yeah, that's right. We do know. Yeah, I just wanted to ask him. Hold
I
on.
still want I want to see Jack in there. I still want the book. Just want the book. Just want to caress the book.
So yeah, that's kind of the most recent thing that's going on with the Outcasts. But I mean, yeah, I guess we'll just have to continue on from there to learn more.
I'm sorry, I didn't read the Discord. We have a session tomorrow.
We do have a session tomorrow.
Good
Yeah.
enough. Good enough.
Are you
Yeah, it is good
free?
to know if you didn't know.
Oh, he came back. It's
Yes,
the same
I'm
one
sure I'm
over.
free.
Before we wrap things up, as Dylan wants to, he's allowed me to ask Adam one more question for our audience.
I
Adam,
don't have an audience.
so how is it? Because we've talked about
audio.
Dylan being able, or Les Kai being able to do something. We've talked about the fact that Oro is a barbarian that can apparently use elemental magic, and characters can do other things. What's that all about?
Yeah, so just as a closing note, this is something that a couple of my friends have also taken into their campaigns, at least idea-wise, or have marked them to fruition. Basically, I like the fact that your D&D character feels like your D&D character and not just pulling it out of the stat book. So I had a special system where every 5 levels you got a special ability, basically something you could do or something that affects you that's completely outside of the normal book of the game, but it helps your character feel more like your character, whether it's something in utility, just straight up damage, whether it's something that's defensive or something that has something to do with magic. It's just fun, and it adds more flair, and it's just a new way that breathes some different life into D&D, I feel like. So,
Or something that's simply just roleplay related.
sure, yeah.
Adam likes to talk about all of the different options you can apply with your character or whatnot, but he loves to give you those options so he can dominate you with his massive dong.
Oh my god.
What do you think the D in DM stands for?
Dong Master.
Absolute dick master. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So thank you
Which
guys.
is why I prefer to be called DMS, Dick Master Supreme.
Tacos.
Thank you so much for having me, Dylan, on the
I'm
podcast.
so glad.
I appreciate you wanting to share the story.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's been 3 years for this campaign, and I'm
Yeah.
just really happy with everything that's been, and I can't wait for more years to come and just more fun stories like this. I love D&D, and I love it more because it's with you guys. So
Yeah. You guys definitely make it work. You guys definitely made this work.
yeah.
Now, Mr. DM, let me murder people again.
No.
Adam, stop being a sappy bitch.
Can I make bad
Huh?
choices?
Stop being a sappy
Kiss me on my
bitch.
hot mouth, Sean.
Fine.
God.
If
feeling
anybody's
romantical.
kissing anybody, if anybody's kissing anybody, we're recording it for the intro of this wonderful video.
No, you just want to be included. Don't
Don't
lie to me.
No, there's a camera there.
And there, little did you know. Okay. I know. But I know.
Somebody's on schedule.
They know. Austin, thank you so much for taking the time.
Yeah,
coming
it was so
from
rad to be here for this. I love
Indianapolis.
talking about D&D.
But from Indianapolis, and that's 2 hours.
Yeah.
But it's
3
your
hours.
house is down there. So.
Yeah, I did come from school to come here, so
Yeah.
that's a thing.
But are you going back to school? Or?
No, I'm staying the night.
Oh.
In this nice room that he's probably going to kick us all out of.
Yeah, I used to sleep in here, actually.
This was his room.
Yeah. Huh? No, I'm going back home. What do you mean? I'm going
Hey, he's
home.
just spending the night. Did you guys know?
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna wrap up. Thank you, Adam, for your amazing campaign and just the hard work you put in. Just big clap. Just
I appreciate it.
definitely, and Adam's definitely gotten better. Not gotten better. You've
No, it's okay to say that.
Yeah.
There's still a lot that I've learned over
You
the course of
like
it.
from where we started before. You were to I'm gonna destroy your lives now. like
Origin
you
Hollow is nothing but trauma.
your storytelling has like improved,
Thanks.
and like and it's never been bad at it. I'm just
Right. It's just gotten better.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying. I think.
no.
No. It's,
Wait.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay to say it's gotten better. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's a good thing to say.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it.
Okay. Dodged a bullet
I
there.
mean, like, hell, man, this is like so much improv.
I know.
Like learning how to work this out is a learning curve, and I don't think I've met anyone who's handled it better than Adam.
Hey.
He's so good at this.
yeah.
Don't worry, Austin. We're just edging you.
Too bad. Clean up aisle my pants.
All right.
Fucking peanut gallery.
All right. Well, we're gonna. What are we gonna do, Aaron? I don't know.
Let's do.
You're doing the outro so that
Let's-
you can say goodbye to
Let's
everybody.
all do the outro, but everybody only gets one word, and we go around like this. You start.
All right. Banana pie.
No, you have to. It's an outro. You don't see. That's all it said is 2 words.
I kind of want banana pie now. It's not a thing. It probably is a thing.
Okay,
Banana cream
Go
pie
now.
is my favorite kind of pie.
Like, what do you want me to say?
you say one word, and we go around, and we're making the outro. Go.
Oh. Banana. No, I'm sorry. Hang on.
Dude, bananas
Can
going
we-
right up his
Can we
ass.
just say
Okay.
we have been, and then say our names?
No.
This is more fun. I want to do this.
Thank you.
No, that's one word. One.
Say the first ones. You said the first
We should start with Autumn.
No, I'm not letting you go.
Hold up, before we start, where are we starting and who's the last person?
He's starting. Sean.
go the opposite way. Like go around.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so
let
we go-
Sean be the end.
Okay.
Well, okay. So I mean, how many times do we want to go around?
Depends.
Until we reach the end of the sentence.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
that's fair. That's fair.
All right.
Okay.
So I think of a word
One word.
One word.
that is like welcoming and like thank you for listening.
No. We are forming a sentence together. So
So
you're gonna
don't
say a
say
word,
banana.
and then Aunie's gonna say the next word, and then it goes Austin, and then we
Okay.
just keep going.
Okay.
So you say one word that you are trying to end the podcast.
Can I get in like
No.
Are we sure?
Okay. Shh. You stole my word. I have to think. All right.
You all understand why Walker's gonna kill this guy, right? I do.
We're
All right.
gonna finish this. I'm never gonna get.
All right. Ready. Your.
You start a fucking sentence with your.
Okay. Well, Aaron stole my thing.
Improv day. Yeah.
Aaron stole my thing. I can't say thank anymore.
No, we've got your.
He said your response should have been mother to set him up for a wonderful follow-up.
This is an exit sentence, Ben. All right.
100%.
All right.
So we got your all.
So,
Kind and
Loving.
sometime today.
Wonderful.
People. That.
We.
are
Adoring, but
Appreciate.
And
I mean, no, we were doing so good. It's okay. We appreciate and are you
And
white?
admire.
Admire.
Because.
Your.
so
Fetching today.
Or flirting.
No, that's it. There's no comment. We're done. That's it.
Everybody be sure to like and subscribe and make
Like,
sure to leave.
subscribe, follow the podcast.
Thank you so much for your time today. You guys are awesome.
This has been.
Go ahead, Dylan.
This has been Dylan.
This has been Autumn.
I've been Austin.
I've been Aaron. I'm sometimes Adam.
I'm sometimes Alex.
I'm Ben.
I'm Sean.
This has been KaiCast.
Now play your outro music, baby.
Yeah.
Hey guys, that's Kai Productions here. Just wanted to fly in and say hi. Thank you for tuning into the podcast. It was very fun to do it with my friends. It meant a lot to me for them just to swing in and just share their knowledge about D&D. Yeah, so it's awesome just to be with friends, and I want to thank you to the cast. Thank you guys for being so awesome and so willing to jump when I say jump. But yeah, it was very fun. It was very fun editing the video. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, so just please enjoy. Hope you enjoyed and continue enjoying KaiCast and Let's Kai Productions. Yeah. All right. Thank you guys. Out. Peace.
Once upon a time, there was a kid who had a dream. He just wanted better than the life that he had seen. Not just for himself, but for his family and his team. Something like the movies or the shit in magazines. Always tried his hardest, they could never see. Trying to go the farthest, somewhere no one been. Set himself some targets, made him out of reach. So the funny part is that little boy's me.